Just give me one moment here, guys.
What? What do you want me to do?
I don't know what happened. Is everybody there? Can everybody hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Can everybody hear me? Everybody can hear me? Oh, okay, great. Great. We are just thank you. Thank you so much. Just give me one moment. We have Charlie Kirk discussion tonight, and we do have a special guest. So I'm just waiting for him to come in. Give me one moment. How's everybody doing tonight? I can add. Here we go. You guys can't hear me here? Hold on. Maybe if we can start with. Okay, I'll start with Lit Mormon. If you haven't heard, he should be viral right now. So please go follow him if you guys are all in the chat here. He was at the hospital September 10th. We'll get into it. I would like him to introduce himself, who he is. He doesn't have to say his first name, last name. He can just call himself Lit Mormon. That's fine. Introduce yourself because people probably don't know what is going on, who you are. I'm so thankful that you joined my space today and you answered my DM. I've been trying to get a hold of you for quite some time. So first of all, welcome. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm great. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks so much. I don't know how long you've been trying to get a hold of me for, but your DMs, like, they just never showed up. I think you tagged me in a post or replied to me or something, but I didn't see anything until I had to follow you back in order to see it. So I'm sorry if you felt like I ignored you for a long time. It's just, I made these posts literally on September 10th, and nobody seemed to care, at all at the time. It wasn't until just this last week that I gained any traction, whatsoever. So,
wow.
Thanks for reaching out to me.
Yeah. I know there was wishes in the chat here right now. If she can add a little bit to it. I know Baron showed a little bit of your stuff in the beginning and then it just kind of went like off the map and then you're back again. So
I wouldn't say there was anything really interesting about my posts until just recently. It was just like, hey, I'm here. And the only reason why I posted to begin with was everyone was saying Charlie was at Utah Valley Hospital.
Right.
And I thought, as we were driving towards Timpanogos, I thought, why he wouldn't be there. Why would he even go to Timpanogos Hospital? But when we got there and all the police cars were there, I was looking on social media and people were still saying Utah Valley Hospital. So I felt like, hey, I should post this. Like, hey guys, he's here. I think he's actually here. And I still don't know. I'm not a big, it's been, a year and I haven't really
It's fine.
paid a whole lot of attention to it.
Yep.
But I don't know why he actually went to Timpanogos. Nobody's actually given an answer why they went to that hospital rather than Intermountain in Utah Valley. Has anybody touched on why that actually happened?
Can we start from the beginning? So your grandmother was there, correct? Is that?
Yeah. So my grandma she was 95 and she had a heart attack the day prior, and they took her to Timpanogos. And I have a business here. I don't live in the Wasatch Front of Utah. I live like 3 hours away from here. But I happened to be in town working, and I heard she was going to have an angiogram and possibly have a stent placed. And so me and my mother were like, let's go be with her. So that's why we were headed there that day. My parents live in Lehi, which is maybe 25 minutes, maybe 20 minutes from Timpanogos Hospital. And so we were just going there to visit her and be with her while she had her angiogram and possibly the stent placed as well.
Well, first of all, my prayers for your grandmother. I hope she's okay now.
Yeah, she's awesome. She loved Charlie Kirk too. Like before, because it was hitting the news in her room, and we actually had to turn the TV off because like, Grandma, you got to listen to the doctor, because she was concerned that when she went in because it was like maybe a half-hour surgery, she was concerned that she was going to miss some important news about Charlie. And I think when she actually went in, nobody had officially announced whether he had passed or not yet. And so she was more concerned about him than she was her own surgery. I tried to tell her, Grandma, if you don't make it through this, it won't matter whether Charlie's dead or not. So let's focus on you. But
Wow.
she loved him. She loved him.
So, like, were you walking in the hospital and then you were the last person to enter and they did a lockdown? Is that correct?
Yes, you can actually see in the video that I made when I was walking up with my mom. I made that video specifically for my family, actually, because it was in our family chat. My sister had announced the news to everybody just a while before. And I made that video to show, to my family, I think Charlie's actually here, because they were putting up the police tape as I was walking up. And we got in around the police tape just before they closed it off entirely. And as we were walking in, I was thinking, like, are we allowed to come in here? But they let us go in. And then after that, it was not a single person could leave. That's not the entire truth, actually, because I had been in my grandma's room for maybe a half hour before I realized I needed a phone charger. And I went downstairs to leave the hospital, and the police officer at the door greeted me and said, you can go out, but you can't come back in.
Oh, you couldn't leave?
They said I could leave, but they said I couldn't come back in. And I was trying to make that decision. I need to come back in. And then he changed his mind after somebody called him on the radio. He was on the radio for a moment. And then he said, actually, you can't leave at all. I was like, okay. I'm not allowed to even go.
And
like, I could see my car.
Did you ask them why, what's happening? Did you know at the time, like, what the heck was going on?
I knew that Charlie was there. I knew it.
How did you know? How did you know?
When I walked in, there was somebody that wasn't a worker at the hospital. There was like somebody, it seemed like somebody from Charlie's team talking with the police officer. And I had suspicions that Charlie was there because they were taping it off. There were multiple officers parked in front. There was a big black SUV parked right at the entrance of the emergency room. And I remember saying to my mother, like, I think that's from Charlie's team. It seems like it's Charlie's team. But I overheard on the radio of the police officer when I walked in, they were asking for a chaplain.
Wow.
And I worked in an emergency room for 4 years in the lobby in California. And when you call for a chaplain to the ED, like, it's usually because it's over, you know.
Did you hear somebody say that, like, Charlie got shot or something? Like, was that there a rumor there?
Well, I had already known on the drive that it had happened. Right. I didn't hear anybody say anything while I was there yet. I mean, I did later on, but as I was entering, I didn't hear anybody say anything. But as we were driving over, I knew something had happened. My manager at my business was actually at the rally at UVU. She's like in her early 20s. And she was actually at the rally, and she texted me, Charlie was shot. She's the first one who told me while we were driving. You know, we had just gotten in the car. And then my sister texted, hey, I think something happened. But my manager said that she was in the, I don't know what you call it, like an outdoor space when Charlie was shot. And then she got pushed into a building and locked down. And she was concerned because she's like, I don't think I can come to work tonight. She was a little shell-shocked, you know. So I had known it had happened. I didn't see any video or anything in the meantime. And while we were driving to Timpanogos Hospital, we were coming from the south. So we passed UVU under the overpass. And I saw police cars pass us on the freeway. So I thought they might be heading towards the shooting. And I remember thinking as we were passing UVU, I thought, are we going to get caught up in like crazy traffic because of what's happening there? But that didn't occur. So I knew Charlie had been shot, at least when I went into the hospital. I wasn't sure if he had passed or not. But when I heard them on the radio call for a chaplain as I walked through the doors, I thought,
knew it wasn't like good. It was like something's not right.
It felt like he didn't make it. I just, when you call for a chaplain, it's usually over. It's over. They don't usually call for chaplains unless somebody's really fighting for their life and like it's a child or something. But
yeah,
we would always, at least in the emergency room that I worked in, it was a chaplain because there was a death. And
so when you walked in there, did you see anybody talking? Did you talk with anybody? Did you go straight up to see your grandma, or did you walk in and did you like have your cell phone on the whole time, or did you
record? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you record, like, so I know you like filmed as you were walking into the hospital, but I want to know your experience as you walked in and then they shut the doors, because I know that you were like kind of the last one to get in there before they locked it down. What was the experience in the lobby, and then what happened from there?
Okay. As I walked in, the only people that I saw was a nurse and someone I can't remember. They didn't seem like they worked for the hospital, talking with a nurse and a police officer. Those are the only 3 people that I saw. And there was no one else. Now the lobby for Timpanog's front entrance is small. There's like nothing to it, so it's not like there's a whole bunch of open seating, and there should be people in there, but there was nobody there, and which didn't strike me as odd. It was very quiet. It was.
So do you think
somber.
that they like already took people out? Like did they shuttle people? Did you see anybody? I heard the rumor that they shuttled people out of there.
Yeah, I didn't see anything like that. And honestly, okay, so the rumor that they shuttled people out, I don't know much about it. But didn't that same rumor say that they taped off the entrances as well in advance? I don't know. I'm actually genuinely asking. Didn't that person who gave that tip say they both shuttled people out and they taped off the entrances?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out, because you went in, and then I think Muppet is raising his hand. Go ahead, Muppet.
Yeah, hey man. I just wanted to wonder. I haven't looked at the video precisely. Is there a timestamp on that video? Do you know exactly what time that was happening?
Yeah, it was filmed at 1:07 p.m. Mountain Time. And I've posted pictures. I posted pictures of the video, like when it was taken, like a screenshot that showed the time. Someone,
yeah,
I don't know.
Cool, thank you.
No problem. I'll say that I don't know the name of the person. Somebody asked me, "Can you send me the raw footage?" And I did. I had to do it through Google Drive, and he got a hold of it because he wanted to check like the metadata or something to verify that the time was correct. And he posted something about it and the time, and yeah, it's at 1:07 p.m. I think we pulled up at 1:04 p.m. and my mother is able to park in handicap parking, so we parked very close to the entrance. So you can see in the video at 1:07 p.m. the police are actively taping off the scene. Like you can see him actually wrapping the police tape around the pole. So I do not believe that it was taped off in advance. The emergency room entrance is right next to the main entrance.
So when you came in, you didn't see any tape or anything?
There was, as I was walking in, there was tape. It was going up.
It was going up. Okay.
If you watch the video, you see him.
Yep,
you actually see the police officer putting it up. Yeah, he's putting it up at that time.
Yeah, and I have some of your videos and links above. Go follow him. He has some really good you have pictures too up in I guess that's where you and your grandma were, up in the window there.
Yeah, it was. I can say that I don't know if anybody was shuttled out. I don't know. I know it was quiet. The emergency rooms are often busy, but it was middle of the afternoon, I think, on a weekday, and it was quiet. But I don't remember seeing into the emergency room lobby. I know I wasn't able to see any rooms, so I don't know about those rumors. But I just do know that the scene was not taped up in advance. I do know that. I do think it's odd that they locked down and decided they wouldn't even let me leave. And I don't think that's crazy, but it was for 5.5 hours that we weren't allowed to leave. And not only was I not allowed to leave, when I tried to go, when the police officer told me, like, no, you can't go, he also told me, you're not allowed to be down here by the doors. And he made me go back up. He said, you have to go back up to the room you're visiting.
That's what I was going to ask. That was like my literally next question. So you weren't allowed to go down to the lobby or anything. You had to stay. Did you have to stay like where your grandma was, or?
Yeah. I made us stay up there. And I have to say, I don't know if they were trying to just keep people from like being nosy or something, because I didn't feel that there was any threat at all. And I felt like they were using the threat as an excuse, like, oh, well, there's a threat. You have to stay here. It felt to me like they just didn't want press. They were scared that the press was going to show up, and they were trying to really control it. And it also felt like they didn't want me to hear, or see anything that was going on with Charlie's team. That's just the impression that I got, because I always felt like they were, if I was in that lobby, if I lingered at all, they were like looking at me like, get out of here, go away, So.
And you didn't see anybody else in the lobby. So you said you went down there and then you went back up because they told you.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, there was one other guy that I think tried to exit too. But I was the first one trying to exit, and he kind of showed up and heard, and then he went back up to his room. So there was really nobody else down there. There were other visitors in the hospital that I ended up chatting with up there near my grandma's room. But it was super quiet. It was very somber in the hospital. It felt like everybody kind of knew. In fact, when my grandma went into surgery, they allowed us to go with her. And then there was like up on the 3rd or 4th floor, I can't remember which floor it was, but they let us sit there and wait for her. And there was a TV that was on the news, and it was giving all the details of what had happened. And nurses and doctors kept stopping by to watch it. And I think they knew all the details, because rumors spread fast through the hospital about what's going on downstairs. But the whole hospital definitely knew. All the staff definitely knew, because there was a very somber attitude throughout the whole, every floor of that hospital.
So 5 hours, you said you were in there. So like you can only stay, at least on the 3rd floor you were at?
It was either third or the 4th. I can't remember which floor it was, but it was a higher floor.
I mean, like if I was you, I'd be like running, like not running, but like going through the hallways, like asking questions, like, because that's just who I am. I'm just wondering, like, did you talk to anybody else in the 2nd room and the 3rd room on that floor? Did you talk to anybody?
I did not. The only people I talked to were housekeepers in the elevator, and they only spoke Spanish, so I chatted with them for a while, and I can't remember what they said.
So you didn't talk to any other like patient? I mean,
no.
Family members of other patients, nothing like that?
No, but I think briefly I may have chatted with somebody, but it wasn't anything significant at all. It wasn't anything of note, but there were other people that were trapped in there too.
So I guess you guys were all like in there because you thought like there's a shooter on the loose, so that they locked down the hospital for that reason. Is that what you were told? Were you told why you were going to be there for that many hours?
Yeah, at first, the only thing they said was for security purposes. That's it. So nobody said anything about an active shooter or anything. They just said for security purposes. And so I didn't know. Apparently, people are saying that there was some threat that somebody was going from hospital to hospital, looking for Charlie or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but they just said for security purposes. We discussed at length what we thought security purposes meant. The only thing that I could surmise why it would take so long, because 5 hours is a long time to sit there and do nothing. So the only thing we thought was maybe Trump was coming. We thought maybe JD Vance was coming, because there was a helipad outside and they locked it down like crazy security. Why would they make us stay in the hospital for that long? Why wouldn't they just let us go? Like, I understand not letting people in, but in my years of working in the emergency department, not once did we put police tape up, and we had gang shootings and rival gang members showing up. I mean, we never had a high profile person die.
Usually you can leave. Usually.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But we could not leave.
You can't come back in. I understand not coming back in. But usually, like, if you're in and it gets locked down, usually you can leave, but you can't come back. I know that.
Yeah. That's the only thing I could think of was, hey, well, maybe President Trump is coming personally here.
Well, how about if there's an emergency and you need to leave? Like,
people have said, why didn't you just bolt for the doors?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a police officer right there. There's a guy with a gun right there saying you can't leave. So wow. I don't know. What are you supposed to do? They seem very serious about it. And so.
And I guess you were like probably calling family and friends, going, "What the heck's going on here?" I don't know. I think Shelly had a question for. Lots of people are going to have questions, and thank you for everybody coming in. We got Lit Mormon here. Obviously, I think Baron showed your stuff a long time ago. So it's coming back into the forefront. So if anybody has a question, just please raise your hand. I will try to add you as a speaker. And go ahead, Shelly.
Allie, thank you so much. Wait, I don't think I'm...
Yep, we can hear you.
You can? Okay.
Yeah, hi, Shelly.
I'm sorry. Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yep, go ahead.
Ma'am.
Okay. I wanted to ask, what was this? I mean, as far as like, was anything going on the morning before Charlie actually got to the hospital?
I will say that I wasn't at that hospital at that time. My aunt and my grandma were both at the hospital. My aunt showed up before we did, maybe an hour or two before me and my mother did. So my aunt was there before Charlie was killed. And she has said that she was just in my grandma's room. So she has no idea of anything that happened in the hospital before Charlie's death. The first she heard of it is when it hit the news on the TV above my grandma's bed. So, and again, we didn't arrive. My mom and I didn't arrive till 1:07 p.m. And I can only tell you what happened at the hospital from 1:07 on. So anything that happened beforehand, I don't know. I mean, I know firsthand account from my manager who was at UVU when it happened. But I mean, there's a lot of those kids, so I don't have anything unique to say about anything that happened prior to Charlie's death.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Wisha, do you have a question? Wisha. She doesn't have a question? Yes.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
It's all good.
I guess the only question that I have is, do you know what time they called the chaplain?
Yeah, so...
Or that you heard that?
Good question. That's good. It was as I was walking in those doors. The video was filmed at 1:07, and I must have walked in those doors 10 seconds after I finished the video, and I heard that. I heard them calling the chaplain, so it would have been later on. And I know that they didn't officially announce his death until well after that.
Yeah, what time?
It was official. I feel like Trump kind of made it official by saying it. I think everybody else beforehand was speculating, but I don't recall exactly.
Right. I was trying to remember like what time they officially did declare. Or have they released that? I don't even remember.
I don't remember either. And as far as like the shooter, they let us go at, I think it was 6:24. I think precisely around 6:24. At least that's when I filmed the people out in front. And so they let us go around that time. And that was also an odd time to finally let us go because as far as I know, the sheriff didn't officially announce that they had anybody in custody until I think it was like around 8 or something. I can't recall, around 8 p.m. But we were all getting pretty upset that we were there for so long. And I remember going down and asking, like, well, how are you going to let me go? And I think around 6, I went down and I was like, look, we got to go. I can't stay here anymore. You have to let us go. And they're like, well, you can't. You're still locked down. And I asked the officer, like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to announce it over the PA when we can finally go? Are you going to remember? Or are you just going to end the lockdown and I'm going to be stuck up here in my room? Like, when can we get out of this place? And how are you going to notify me? And it wasn't like till 20 minutes after that when they finally were like, okay, I guess you can go. So I really don't know what their reasoning was up until that point. And I could see from my window people gathering outside.
Yes, maybe waiting for Erica to get there, or
I don't know. I also speculated that she was coming, but do you guys know if Erica actually showed up at the hospital or not?
I heard she was waiting on the tarmac. Remember, guys? Like for How, like an hour and a half? I don't know.
Bearing over the timeline, what time did he say that they left the hospital with him to go to the coroner's office?
Yeah, we need the time frame from that.
I'll see if I can find a timeline.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll tell you the black SUV that was in the front was still there when I left.
So you mean like Charlie's SUV?
Well, okay, so in my head, I remember there being 2 SUVs in the front when I walked up.
Which makes sense. Okay.
The video only shows 1, but in my head, I remember 2. And then when I left, I remember still seeing those SUVs there. So I don't know when they actually took off, but they wouldn't let us go out the front doors. When we left, I don't know if you guys have read my post on it, but they wouldn't let us go out the front doors when they.
That's
when
bizarre.
Yeah,
so like the
did
back.
Did you say that they escorted you?
Yeah, they escorted us through a rear end, a back. And I was like, they tried to say you're gonna have to leave through the back, and I was like, I don't know where the back is. Like, what do you want me to do? So it was around 6:30, so there were nurses getting off their shift. I think the 6 to 6, 12-hour shift ends at that point, and so there was like a couple of nurses that were like, hey, we'll take you out the back. And so I think it was 2 female nurses walked us all the way across the hospital to what I think was the north side, very far away from the front entrance. And it didn't make sense because I told them, I'm like, look, I have parked right here. You can see my mom's car, like right there in the handicap spot, right from the door. But they said, no, you can't.
Right, so you still had to walk all the way around.
Yeah, we exited through an employee exit. It wasn't a public exit. It was some sort of employee parking lot. Strange exit out I remember it being on the north side of the hospital.
Interesting.
Go ahead, Muppet.
Yeah. Did you ever happen to notice any police rummaging through the black SUV at any stage?
No,
and was there any press out the front when you left?
Good question. That is a good question. I'll address the SUV one first. No, but I do remember the SUV, one of the SUVs being open. I remember one of the doors or the rear being open to one of them. And that was as we were walking up. And as we were leaving, I think they were closed. But I remember looking and seeing, and the doors are open to that thing. And I don't know if somebody escaped it quickly or if somebody was looking through it. But the doors were definitely open to one of those SUVs as I walked up. There was press. There was one, because we kept looking out the window. Obviously, we weren't able to leave. But there were some empty rooms. My grandma's room didn't quite have like a good view. So me and my mom, my aunt, we would sneak into some of the empty rooms so we could get a better view of the outside of the hospital. And that's where you see a video of people like showing up on the corner and walking around. And from the very beginning, there were a few people that were out there. There was one car that parked and blocked off the entrance to the hospital parking lot. It was an unmarked car. I can't remember. I think it was like a white truck or something. But it like halfway blocked the entrance so nobody could drive in. And I think you can see that in the video that I posted. There was one car that was there the entire time with 2 American flags on it. And it was parked away from the vigil. It was parked like at the south side of the hospital near the entrance. On the street, and there were 2 people that were sitting outside of that vehicle the entire time. It had American flags on it. You may see it in the video. I can't remember if I captured the video of it, but they were there the whole time sitting outside, almost as if they were waiting for something to happen, because we saw a lot of people begin to show up, slowly, and they were gathering on that corner. You may remember the corner where people were showing up and waving flags and putting up signs. There were a few people that were walking like all the way around the block holding American flag, because as I looked out the window for a long time, I was able to see them pass a few times. And there was, I remember one member of the press. I was expecting to see a lot because I was wondering, since we're locked down, like, is the press showing up and they're trying to keep the press out or something? Is that why we're being locked down for so long? So I was watching for press. I wanted to see if there was helicopters or something like that, but I only saw one lady show up with what looked like a professional cameraman, and she had a microphone, and that was it. And I haven't seen any reporting from the scene, so I don't know what station she was from or where she's from, but I saw her standing on the lawn doing some sort of reporting, and then she was gone, and that was it.
So what exact time did you leave? Do you remember?
It took us a while to walk out, and then we had to walk back in front and get into the car. And where my mother had parked was next to a whole bunch of police cars, and it was roped off with police tape. So just in order to leave, I had to have some kind of funny maneuvering because the cars were almost blocking us in. And I had to remove some police tape to get around it. And then the vigil was out there, and I drove by the vigil. So they may have let us leave at maybe 6:15, 6:10. And I drove by the vigil and filmed at 6:24 p.m.
24. Wow, that's a long day for you.
Yeah, I know. Especially the freaking manager was like, "I'm not working tonight," and I had to go in and cover for her. So I was worried about like getting back to my business in time, so that I could cover her shift. But it was a long day. Grandma was doing fine, and at the time, it was very sad. It was very sad for Charlie, but I didn't record any video because I suspected anything nefarious. I just thought, another psychopath killed someone that, I like. And I didn't expect anything to really, any theories or conspiracies to come out of it. So it was just kind of a sad day. That wasn't an angry day.
So you never saw like anybody come out of the SUV or anybody familiar that, like Frank Turk or anybody like that? You never saw them?
No, and I have to say that even if I had seen them, I didn't know anybody from Charlie's team. I didn't even know what TPUSA was. I only knew about Charlie. I only knew Charlie from the videos. That was it. And I think I'd heard of Turning Point USA, but I didn't know anything about it. So I wouldn't have even recognized anyone. And I did want to see some people, but I didn't want to be nosy. I didn't want to. At the time, I didn't know if anything crazy had happened, so I wanted to give him a little bit of privacy. But at the same time, if Trump's chopper landed on the helipad, I definitely wanted to see it. So I was being nosy from the third floor for sure, to see if anybody had come.
And did you see a helicopter around or ambulance or anything like coming in?
No, we were looking for it. We didn't see anything. They diverted all. I had heard that they weren't allowing any new patients, and they diverted all ambulances. So nobody was coming to the hospital. So
not even ambulance could get into the hospital with like emergency patient. They locked it down.
No, they diverted them to other hospitals.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So not even patients could come. No emergency patients could come, which is another weird thing because I have worked at hospitals where they diverted ambulances before. Because something horrible had happened, and they couldn't take on an ambulance at the time. Diverting ambulances is something that is done often. But denying care and shutting down an emergency room, that I've never seen before myself.
Did you recognize any of the press or what kind of network was there at all? Like, I know you drove by and you saw some people after you left, but as you were getting out, did anybody try to interview you or anything?
No, nothing at all. There was nothing. And the people that were gathered on the corner, they came slowly. And because I remember I was hoping that it would grow because it was within an hour. There were a couple people out there with signs and American flags. And I remember thinking, I hope this turns into 1,000 people out here in the corner. And it wasn't happening as fast as I'd hoped. But nobody dropped these people off at the vigil. And there was no real press. It was just slowly a growing group that was standing on the corner and circling the hospital. I didn't see anyone being shipped in or bussed in. I didn't see any press except for, early in our lockdown, that lady that I mentioned beforehand with the camera. I did think it was odd that no press had showed up at the hospital, but
maybe they were blocked from entering. I don't know. I don't know.
It's possible. I know that I've heard that UVU hospital, the Utah Valley Hospital, was also locked down. I heard it from a nurse that works there.
Which hospital? The other one?
Yeah, Utah Valley Hospital.
That was locked down too? So where were they going to put patients then if they locked down that one and the other one?
I don't know.
Sorry, this is so relevant. How are they locking down two hospitals if there's an emergency?
You should look into it because I've only been told by my mother, who had taken my grandma to Utah Valley Hospital a short time after that. And she had mentioned to some of the nurses there, we got locked down in Timpanogos. And the nurses said, we were locked down here too on that day.
That is bizarre. Go ahead, Muppet.
Now I forgot what I was going to ask.
They were locking down the other hospital, like the two hospitals. They locked down both hospitals. How does that work?
I don't know. That's really interesting. Where else are they going to take people? What was I going to ask? Give me a minute. I'll think of it.
Yeah. So you said you heard that from one of the hospital staff that they locked down the other hospital. Is that correct?
Yeah. I heard that from my mother when I talked to my mom about it today because I was like, hey, Mom, you guys, I'm going to be, some people want to ask about that day we were locked down. And so I asked her if she remembered any details. And, she's in her mid-70s herself, so she didn't remember many details. But she did. She's the one who told me, they locked down Utah Valley Hospital too. And she told me that the nurses there had told her, yeah, they locked us down that day too. And I haven't heard any reports of that as well. And to me, that's not crazy suspicious. I don't know how big of a lockdown was there. Because apparently there were reports of some roaming, shooter or something, but I don't know how much of that to actually believe.
Right.
I remember now. The car you saw with the two flags on it, was that like an official looking car or?
No, I remember it almost looking like a military vehicle. You can kind of see it in it almost looked like a Hummer, or like a big Jeep with the top down. You might see it in one of the videos.
What color was it? What color?
That's interesting.
It looked military green.
Military green. A Hummer, like you said, like a Hummer?
Almost like a Hummer, but like an older Hummer, like that didn't have the top on it, or like a Jeep with the top down.
A Jeep, like a green, like a dark army green?
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, but bigger. And they were there. That car was there the entire time. It was there the entire time. It may
you wouldn't know if it's like a how many doors it had. Like I know there's.
It's like a 4-door. It was not like a 2-door Jeep. It wouldn't be like a 2-door Jeep. It was bigger than that.
It was bigger. It was like a.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I may be in one of the videos. If it was in the video, it would be the video where I'm looking out the window from the hospital at the people that are gathering at the vigil.
Did you
if
see?
It was a Hummer, it'd be what he's describing sounds like a H1 or
like a military vehicle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but it looked old. It didn't look like it looked like maybe it was like it didn't look like a new vehicle. It looked like an older one, and by older I mean maybe 20 years old.
Did you see anybody in like military gear or anything, or no?
No, I didn't see. I saw people, but it was from a distance. And those people that were like leaning up against that vehicle, they didn't join the vigil on the corner. And that's why they kind of stood out to me, because I was like, everybody else was either walking laps around the hospital or joining the vigil on the corner. And the people in that vehicle is parked on the, let's see, which direction am I facing? It was parked on the, I don't know the directions very well at that hospital, but it wasn't parked near the vigil. It was kind of like near the entrance to the parking lot. And they never walked over to join the vigil because I watched these people outside for forever because I had nothing else to do. So I kind of watched the vigil. And the people that were leaning up against that vehicle, they were like the first ones to arrive. So it didn't surprise me that they didn't go to the corner. But as the crowd on the corner got bigger, I was very surprised that the people from that vehicle remained at their vehicle. I don't know why. I don't want to speculate too much on what it was, but they were just there with American flags on their vehicles, and they didn't quite join the rest of the group.
So, like, could nurses leave at all? Did you notice anybody leaving the hospital?
No. And even if nurses and docs wanted to leave, I don't know about doctors. I actually don't know about the doctors, but I know the nurses, they didn't get off shift anyway. The nurses would usually work 12-hour shifts. There's a 6.
So what about like the nurses had to come in? Like, isn't there a shift exchange? I don't know if you saw anything.
Would have gotten there at 5:45 p.m. Typically, they would come on shift at 5:45. But again, they would have come in the back. I didn't see them. I didn't see anybody. All I know is the nurses that I left with that escorted us out, they were getting off shift.
Okay. So the nurses that were leaving, did you see anybody else enter? Did you see anybody enter from the back?
No, it was all exiting. And even those of us, I never even saw any other people exit as we were exiting.
I'm wondering if they had to exit, like, so if you're leaving the hospital, you exit the back. If you're entering, you enter in the front. I'm just wondering if they had a coordinated thing. You said you worked in hospital before?
Yeah.
Do they have that kind of protocol? Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't know. I know that there's usually employee parking. We had employee parking in the back, and I loved leaving through the back. No nurse wants to leave through the lobby of the emergency room because then you have to see all the patients, and you're tired of seeing them after 12 hours anyway. So it makes sense that everybody would go out the back. It didn't make sense that you would take a random visitor and make them go out the employee exit in the back. That made zero sense to me. But because we had to go past like patient rooms that I felt like I'm not supposed to be in this hallway. But okay, I guess you take us back here, whatever. But there's usually like employee parking back there, so it wasn't weird that the nurses had to exit that way, but it was weird that regular people had to exit that way. I was thinking about it now. I'm like, did they just keep us there and let us go because, well, the nurses are leaving anyway? I guess they're off shift, so we can now unlock down this hospital and let you leave.
It's weird because I heard a witness say that they saw the SUV park at one spot. They opened up, like you said, they opened up the door. This is another witness that said this. Opened up I don't know if it was the trunk or whatever, and then that was it. Like, that's all they saw, and they didn't think anything of it because they actually worked at the hospital for like he was doing the surveying of you know when you clean the parking lot and stuff. He was like a worker. I think I've seen this video. I think somebody in on the space could like verify that for me. My memory, I just remember that. So he's like, why was this guy getting out? And like, he verified it. Like, yeah, he thinks it was Frank Turk because he was wearing the shirt and opened up the hatch. And I don't know what they were doing there. I'm just allegedly telling you what I heard and from that video that I seen of the worker. But yeah, so Keats and then Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in. So I've put a picture of a H1 down in the purple pill, and I've also sent it in our chat if you want to have a squeeze at that and sort of verify whether that was something that you saw that day.
I just put it in the nest, so it'll come up above us in one moment. And then,
I just wanted to ask, is Lit Mormon, are you involved in the church currently? Are you LDS currently?
Yeah, I am.
You don't have to answer anything you feel uncomfortable. Also, Lit Mormon, yeah. So anything, like, let's be respectful to the guest. He can answer it. You don't have to answer anything you don't want to. He's just helping us. He's just a witness of what happened that day. So anything revolving religion or anything like that is not really relevant here. But
no, it's not. But my question and my instinct is, if the people, I'm not involved with this Charlie Kirk I guess you can call it conspiracy of what has happened to him. But a lot of you like to mention the Mormons and the Mormon Church and the LDS. So my question is, what makes you think an active member of the LDS Church is going to be honest with you about anything?
Because we're looking at the videos that he supplied, bro. He's got timestamps on the videos. This isn't about Mormon bashing.
Well,
we're actually having a nice conversation. We're not just, you know.
But again, you always have to be aware of both sides.
It's okay, man. UVU is, he certainly was in Mormon territory. You know, like, I would wager 75% of those kids that were at UVU were actually LDS. I would wager at that hospital, the staff was probably all LDS. You know,
even Charlie said that day, if you listen to what little he did actually get to talk, was he was saying about how most of his team is Mormon. So what's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, I posted the video, and honestly, I don't know if it's Alex talking. I'm not sure who was talking, but I'll say this: I posted those videos not because I thought anything, had any sort of conspiracy had happened. I posted because I was there at Tempest Hospital, and people were saying he went to Utah Valley Hospital. That's why I posted initially in the first video. I was like, he's not there, he's here.
You don't have to explain yourself, mate. You've got to have the trust. You don't. Yeah.
It's okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
No, I'm not throwing shade at you. I just wanted to throw out that question. It's, again, a lot of people like to blame the LDS for their activities and they're doing within the death of Charlie Kirk. So it's just and I'm not against Mormons.
You absolutely did throw shade on him, 100%.
It's okay. Like, let me just witness this for a second. Like, my grandma cried. She's Mormon. You know, everyone I knew at church on Sunday was talking about Charlie. So we love Charlie. You know, and I don't know what chaplain he called for. In my mind, I want to say they said the word Catholic when they asked for chaplain, but I don't know. I really don't remember that. But I know that the people of my faith loved Charlie because everybody was talking about it. Everybody did. My sister cried that Charlie died. You know, and we're all LDS. So I don't think that there's anything, there's any religious divide with regards to what happened to Charlie. And either way, this is just my name on Twitter because I think it's funny. But I'm not representing the church in any way. So
even if you were, there wouldn't be a problem. The LDS Mormon people are some of the greatest people in the United States. There's no issue with that. I was just asking a question.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Alex. We got Zany has a question.
Yeah, I just posted your tweet from that day, the first one.
Yeah.
Where you said, let me quote it. Hold on a sec.
No problem.
It's just pulling up. He said, visiting, and they are putting up yellow caution tape around the entrances. I believe Charlie Kirk is here.
Right.
But that time is 12:20 p.m. 12:20 p.m. So how is that possible?
I believe that you are looking at Pacific time, in Mountain time. I think that what Twitter does, they show everybody whatever time zone they're currently in. That's my belief.
Yeah, because you're Mountain time. That is correct. I mean, like he's basically put out all his like pictures with the stamp. He can show the metadata too. You can swipe up and he can show that as well. But I mean, he has videos and everything to prove it. I don't think he's not telling the exact time. It's just mountain time. So right now he is so 9. I'm Eastern. You are 2 hours behind from me.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shelly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shelly.
Thanks, Sally. I just want to say
Wait,
that.
so you're saying that post was at 10?
No, the post was at 1.
2 hours difference from Pacific? What are you saying there?
I'm 1 hour difference from Pacific. When it was 12:20 Pacific time, it was 1:20 here, which is when I made that post. I made that post at 1:20 p.m. The video I recorded at 1:07 p.m. And I didn't post it immediately because I recorded that video for my family in the family chat. And then later on, I posted the video after 1:20 p.m. My first Twitter post, though, my first post on X was at 1:20 p.m., even though I arrived at the hospital at 1:07 p.m.
Okay, but if Charlie had gone straight there, it would have been like 12:30 at that time.
Yeah.
Okay. At the most. So you're saying 37 minutes later, they were putting up tape?
Yeah.
And
that is what I'm saying.
Preventing people from leaving? Like it took that long for them to like lock it down?
That is what I'm saying. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. I also think that is weird. Like, why wouldn't, if you're going to lock it down, why wouldn't you do it immediately? It was weird that I was allowed in. As they were putting up police tape, my mom and I walked in. Like, are we okay to walk around these police cars and go in the entrance? Because they were all parked there. So I thought that was strange myself.
Maybe they didn't even know what hospital they were going to.
You were there first. And watched them put up the tape.
He was the last one to get into the hospital. He was the last one to enter before they locked it down.
Well, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
But what I'm asking is, like, how did it take 37 minutes for them to lock in the hospital if he had been there for that long? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
So did they drop his body off somewhere else and then they're staging this?
I don't know. I just
doesn't make any
confirm
sense.
the time of your
did
tweet,
you
though.
film them bringing him in? Like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Just to confirm the time zones of your tweet, I'm in Australia, and I'm looking at your tweet that you originally made, and on mine, it shows that it was tweeted at 6:06 a.m. on September the 11th.
Yeah.
And if you wind that back, you're exactly right with your times.
There you go. He's from the future.
Yeah, but we're still missing a half an hour.
Well, that's up to the police when they call.
That's up to the hospital. That's not up to what he's posted and what he's our guest is showing today. That's not on him, who is locking down the hospital or not.
I do think it's weird that they were putting up tape a half hour later. I really do. But again, I don't. You guys have to tell me. Did Charlie arrive was he brought in the back or was he brought in the front? And was he brought in the ambulance or was he brought in the SUVs?
He was brought in the SUV.
Straight through the ER doors, apparently.
Okay, so that's the weird thing to me. I know firsthand, like, when a patient is dead or dying and is brought in by a private vehicle through the front doors of the ER, like, it's pandemonium. And I've seen it happen many times. And I've even had to take people's car keys after that patient was brought in and they were doing, whatever they can to save their life. I've taken the car keys and parked the car elsewhere. I did find it strange that 6 hours later, those cars were still there blocking the entrance. Those SUVs were still sitting there. I felt it was weird that they were sitting there beforehand. I didn't see any traces of any blood of any type. Those vehicles did not look like they were messy. I assume when somebody is bleeding out the way that Charlie was, and being brought in a private vehicle. I don't know if he had anybody with him, but if the vehicle were bloody, I can't imagine they would just leave it sitting in the front. But they did. And I remember seeing one of the doors open the vehicle, and I can't recall which one it was. But
for the record, I said I ran.
Okay, PTS, you had a question?
Yeah, so where they were taping everything off and where you saw the vehicles, was that the emergency entrance or was it that other kind of main entrance to the hospital?
Yeah, good question. It was actually both entrances with one tape. So the tape spanned from the covering the emergency entrance all the way over to the other side, where the entire roundabout is emergency and general admission entrance, and they taped off both of those.
Okay, and were the SUVs parked nearer to the main entrance or to the emergency entrance?
They were parked near the emergency entrance.
Okay, and there were two black SUVs or just one there by the emergency entrance?
Okay, it's been a year, so mine.
If you don't remember, that's fine. Yeah, but there was at least one. Okay.
The video only shows one. The video that I made, I didn't span over very far though, so there may have been another one a little bit off. I didn't span the entire.
Yeah.
If you can see.
Yeah, I looked at your videos. Yeah.
There's one at least. There's one black SUV at least. I remember there being two, but your mind can do things after a full year. So.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, I love that you put these videos out. I'm excited to get to talk to you. So, Allie, you were talking earlier about, and what I think you were talking about is a guy who worked there. And what he said is that he was sitting in the parking lot in his car eating lunch when the black SUV pulled into the parking lot. But he said it was weird. They passed that first entrance, which should be like it says emergency and has the little arrow for emergency. And they went to the other entrance closer to the main door and pulled in that way for some reason. And then he said this thing. He saw a guy with a white baseball cap hop out of the hatchback part of the SUV. And then he said a few minutes later, he saw another SUV come and go to the other door. And he saw one guy get out of it, go inside, come out with another guy. They both got back into that SUV and left together. And yeah, so that was that part of that thing. So
yeah, that video's out there somewhere. I don't know where it is, but he did say
what he find it for you
and put it in the nest. Yeah.
Yeah, what I think he said was that he thought that guy that he saw come up in the second SUV, to him, but knowing people that he knows now, would guess was Mikey McCoy.
For the record, I'm doing the cloak thing.
Okay, so could be Mikey McCoy. So
it's a half an hour missing, people.
Okay, so.
Okay, if you can have some, hold on. We can have some respect when someone else is talking, or I'm just going to drop you. So PTS is speaking right now.
So I hear you about this half hour, but this kind of has nothing to do with the witness that we're talking to. He has some video. He didn't arrive at the hospital till after Charlie had already arrived and been taken in. So he was already inside the hospital by the time he filmed most of what he filmed, except for his arrival. So he can't account for this 30 minutes that you're worried about. So I'm sorry that that's bothering you so much, but anyway, I'm kind of thrown off track now. I was trying to get to a point, but I've kind of lost it now.
That's okay. Maybe it'll come back to you. Is there an underground to the hospital at all? Do you know? Is there underground parking or at all?
No, there's not. There's not. Yeah,
no underground. Okay.
No. I do think that, okay, so in my experience, I worked many years in the emergency room in the actual lobby itself. And so I was the EMT in the lobby. So whenever somebody showed up, I had many times somebody would show up with someone dead in their car or dying in their car. And they would run in, get someone, and we would go out and, get that person into the ER as quickly as possible. Many times I had people stabbed, bleeding, shot that I would carry or somehow get them into a stretcher or something. And if they were bleeding the way Charlie was, we definitely had blood on the ground. They definitely had blood on the ground and all over the car. And I can account for many times when I pulled bleeding people out of cars and there was blood everywhere. I'm telling you right now, those SUVs did not look bloody. And honestly, as a hospital employee, there's no way I would leave a bloody vehicle parked at the entrance of an ER for 6 hours. I don't know. You can't do that. Now, we always moved them because other patients were coming in. You can't just leave bloody vehicles parked there for a long time. But I don't know I didn't know he didn't come by ambulance to the back. I assumed he came by ambulance to the back. I didn't know that he came in those black SUVs. But they certainly didn't look like anybody had been brought, bleeding the way he was in a private vehicle that doesn't have, I'm assuming he didn't have medics with him to bandage him up.
Did you hear of anybody saying if he was brought, like I don't know, there could be some gossip going around the hospital, like he was brought from the front or the back? You don't know? Did anybody say? No,
nobody said anything like that. I mean, there was gossip going around the hospital that he was there and that he had died, but there was none of the details. And at the time, the details didn't seem important to me. I thought that those black SUVs, I imagined in my mind that he had come by ambulance, which only makes sense, and that the black SUVs were just his team who showed up after the ambulance, and they can't go into the ambulance bay because every hospital has its own ambulance bay, and it's not through the front doors of the ER.
So you were assuming that he came by ambulance.
Right, because those black SUVs were parked there, just sitting there the whole time, with one of them with the doors open, it seemed like, for at least a short period of time, and the other one just sitting there. I didn't know that they had been used to bring him in, and they certainly didn't look like vehicles that had been used to bring somebody in. And normally, someone would move those vehicles.
Right. We got another question from Bama and then PTS.
Hey, Allie. So I'm actually a physician, and I can tell you that the amount of time, even based upon the time that he was hit, I think it was 12:23. The amount of time to drive there with what they were saying, even the fastest time, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, which they also had on the scanners that they did lock down both hospitals. Now, they may not report that when you do a Google search, but Barron covered that. They specifically had the police radio saying that they were looking for that Qureshi guy, and that was supposedly going hospital to hospital, and they locked both hospitals down. So that was on the recording from the radios from the police officers. But even if he had left at 12:23, he would have, the soonest he could have humanly got there, based upon the video footage we've seen, is about 10 to 15 minutes from the time they picked him up, loaded him into the SUV, drove him out there, and drug him out. Now, I don't know how close you were able to get to the vehicle based upon your positioning in the hospital. So I find it a little hard to believe that you can comment on seeing any blood in it, because I don't know how close you were able to actually see the vehicles. But this 30 minutes that the other person was talking about is ridiculous, because by the time you drag a person into the emergency room and start doing stuff, I mean, the soonest they would have even been in the doors on a stretcher and doing anything would have been probably about 12:40, 12:45. So there isn't this mysterious 30 minutes. By the time you even radio to get police there to lock it down, I think that 30 minutes is a very reasonable window of time. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot wrong in the whole scenario, but I think it's important to understand how things really actually work in a hospital setting.
I would say I probably walked within 4 or 5 feet of those SUVs, because we walked right past them to actually enter in the front doors.
So yeah, that's obviously close enough to be able to see if you're that close.
Yeah.
But is it possible that particular SUV was the other SUV, not the one that he was actually, brought in? That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if the one that you're seeing was the one that had the other people in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give me just 1 second. I'm sorry. Can you disarm, please? Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, okay, that is good. That's great. Because in my mind, I remembered 2 SUVs. But the video only shows one. And I think there was another one to the left. Okay? But it could be that the other SUV that actually brought Charlie wasn't there anymore. And the one that I was seeing was like his team or something that had arrived there. So, yeah, I can say that it's been a year, so it's hard to remember. In my mind, I remember 2, but I could be wrong, and there's just one. The video shows only one. So, and that could be the one that he actually wasn't brought in. It could be just the one that was his team. So, yeah.
Mm. And you said you're a physician? Oh, that's great to have you here.
Yeah, I mean, there's clearly a lot of things about this case, don't get me wrong, that don't add up. But I think we have to put our focus and attention on the things that are what I would say matter to the case. And Lord knows there's a lot of things that don't fit, that are not worth, having debates over, that really are inconsequential to the case itself. But I do think that the hospital being locked down, that's not unreasonable. When we have threats, we do lock the hospital down. Every hospital has different protocols. So I think without knowing the details of what that hospital does, I think the fact that they locked it down and how they did it, I don't know that that's necessarily all that crazy. I think the timing of like the 6 hours, all of that is suspicious. And I do think that this issue of seeing no activity, you can go on diversion. There should be records. If someone does one of those grammar requests, you should be able to find, if you go on diversion, there are records of that through the EMS system. There's a protocol and that has to be followed for that. And in rare circumstances, you can deny walk-up emergency patients, but those are pretty rare. Those are like mass casualty, natural disasters. You physically can't take in people. And that clearly was not the case. So I do think that whole scenario, at least for me, signals that there was a message that got disseminated to a lot of people, because you're not going to be able to just stop random strangers from showing up to the ER without there being a fair number of people in the community that had to have known something.
Can I add something to this as well?
Yeah.
Because I think you and I kind of feel the same way about this. When my video of police tape going up at 107 finally started to gain some traction, I actually thought that it disproved the tip that Candace received. And, I think Candace said that people were shuttled from the hospital in advance, or her tip was, and the hospital was taped off early. And I have evidence in my video of it being taped off well after Charlie's death. So I think it actually, I know that this may make people upset that I would say this, but I actually think that most of what went on at the hospital seemed pretty normal, especially when you consider Timpanogos is a smaller hospital. They're not used to, I don't think they're a trauma center. I don't think they're used to a lot of what was happening. And I think for the most part, they were just following whatever police told them to do. And I think they're just trying to figure out what to do best. But I don't personally subscribe to that tip of, patients were shuttled out, or that the place was taped off before Charlie even was assassinated.
I think it's possible that it could have been maybe put up and then taken down. I mean, we saw them do that at other parts of the crime scene. I would be interested to see if anyone has been able to uncover any hard evidence that there were people. We have a screenshot of what looks to be like a patient record from the other facility, which interestingly, they both switched to the same EMR system, which would make it very easy to transfer records from one facility to another, because I think it was a couple months prior that changeover occurred. Otherwise, it would be a nightmare switching records from one facility to another. You wouldn't be able to do it that fast. But if you're on the same EMR system, and I thought someone said it was Epic, you can pull up multiple facilities simultaneously. They're interlinked. So you can see records from multiple facilities if a patient's been to those facilities. So it would be interesting to see if anybody could provide, if there was a patient that would be willing, to show that might have been at the hospital that day, that their record had been changed over to another facility, to the other hospital. There was somebody that commented that they were scheduled to have a surgery that day and their surgery had been canceled.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Do you remember that, Allie?
Yes.
They were talking that it was somehow it was related to a surgeon who contacted them and told them that it was a friend of theirs wasn't doing their surgery or anesthesia, and said that they had been told, the hospital employee, it was either anesthesia or the surgeon, that if they were going to have a surgery the following day, that they were going to be there a very long time, and that they advised that if it wasn't urgent to just cancel and reschedule.
My grandma had surgery that very day at that hospital.
This was outpatient, like an outpatient surgery. Yeah. So I could see if they were trying to clear out, any unnecessary traffic, right? You can't do anything about the people that are admitted. That would be very obvious, but you could certainly come up with some kind of, reason that, they weren't going to be able to run full ORs, things of that nature, and cancel non-emergent outpatient surgeries. That would not be hard to do. That'd be pretty easy. But there was a report by somebody in terms of, and maybe you could answer this in terms of the entrances to the hospital. There was a report about one of the SUVs, and of course not knowing which one it was because of the fact that they were both black, but that they had pulled up to the entrance that was for outpatient surgery. Is there a separate entrance there for like an outpatient surgery pickup?
I can only attest to two doors. The one that I went in looks to be a general admission door that's right next to the emergency room entrance.
When you came out the back, did you see one? Because usually outpatient surgery will put their entrances and exits typically on a far side of a hospital because they're trying to keep the traffic separate from an ER, for example. So I'm curious, when you had to walk out that back entrance with the nurses.
That is a good question.
Did you notice that there was another like overhang or pickup drop-off area of any kind back there?
Dang it. I wish I could. I don't want to say that I don't know. I don't recall. I wish I really could. I wish I could. There were a lot of cars parked over there, and I had to walk. And I wasn't just in an employee parking lot. I had to walk through a few other places to get there. So I really can't recall, so I don't want to speculate. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. Thanks for sharing your information.
Yeah.
Thank you for your insight.
Thank you so much for coming on the space today and answering people's questions, because a lot of people were like, Allie, can you find this guy? And we have so many questions to ask, So
yeah, I'm nobody special. I just happened to be there, so I just happened to take video and stuff. So I can't say. I know you guys have done a lot of research and have been for a long time, and I don't deserve, any special attention. I was just there. So I'm no expert on any of the other happenings or any other of the theories. Half of the names of TPUSA that you guys state, like some guy last name Turk, I don't even know. So I think actually that kind of makes my account at least a little bit more reliable, because I don't have any knowledge other than what I've seen. I don't have any belief because I haven't researched into it well enough to know.
Right. We have PTS has a question.
So not really a question so much as Keats, I put the video so you can compare the SUVs. You can see in the video I put up in the nest that SUV type vehicle he was talking about blocking the driveway. And then the next one I put up there is a Project Constitution video. It's not the original, but it's, Project Constitution, I think, just ripped the video straight and posted it, of the guy that was eating his lunch in the parking lot, and recounted what happened that day that he was there, if anybody wanted to see that.
Oh, did you say you put it in the pill?
In the nest.
In the nest?
I put them both in the nest.
I can see that now, and they look more like Toyota Tundras.
Yeah, that's a Toyota Tundra. That's exactly what that is. That's a Toyota Tundra with the flags on it. And those people that were outside that Toyota next to those flags, they did not move from that spot. They were just right there, and they were there from practically the very beginning. They were some of the first people that I didn't see them arrive, but the first time I looked at the window, they were out there.
That's
they didn't move from that spot. And that car parking, it looks like a Toyota Tundra to me, the one that blocking the entrance to the hospital. In my mind, I recall them being there as we were driving up. I never saw a single person by that car that was blocking the entrance to the hospital. It was just always there blocking the entrance. And it was weird because if you look at the way it's parked, it didn't really block the entrance all the way. You could have just driven around it.
Yeah, you could have just driven around it, yeah.
My thought was that was for some of the physicians to get in and out, maybe, and maybe it would make the public question whether they could enter the parking lot or not.
Sometimes they block. Was that it's backwards here in Australia, obviously, because we drive on the correct side of the road. But would that be the entrance or exit? Because if they're letting people out but not in, be parked on the incoming.
Yeah, that's the incoming side.
Well, there you go. So they're blocking the incoming, not the outgoing.
Yeah,
but there wasn't anyone there to enforce it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, just a random car there is kind of weird.
I feel like I can't remember if it was there when I pulled in. I feel like it was, and we just kind of went in,
Yeah, and then one last.
It wasn't like an official car; it was just parked there.
Did your vehicle have a camera?
Going, what's this fucking idiot doing? Yeah. Get out of the way!
I'm just wondering if your vehicle had a dash camera at all, or no?
No. I was actually driving in my mom's vehicle because she has a handicap sticker, so the parking is way better. So I was just driving in her Jeep, but there's no dash cam or anything. I wish there were.
Any planes or drones or anything in the air? Helicopters, planes, drones? Did you notice anything?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't recall. I in my mind I remember a helicopter, but I was on the lookout for that. Remember, because I thought we're going to get Trump or JD Vance here because of all the security. Because I assumed the security was because somebody big was going to show up. I thought Secret Service is going to come here and make sure, this place is secure. And so I was looking for that kind of thing. I didn't see any drones. I may have seen some drones. I can't remember, but I swear I remember some sort of press helicopter, but nothing ever landed on that helipad. I can tell you that. And nothing circled the hospital enough to for me to record it or capture my attention too much. So,
I just want to quickly jump in and say I really appreciate you for coming to speak with us, mate. You may not think that you're special or anything like that, but what you're providing for us or for this investigation is massive. Despite what people may think, but really appreciate it. And
thank you.
I'm gonna be away from the mic for 5-10 minutes, so I'm still here.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, PTS. And if anybody else wants to talk, just raise your hand. Let me know.
Yeah, I just had one last question while we had Bama here, since she's a doctor. Is it reasonable? So I'm assuming you've researched this and you've seen everything that happened and you've seen the video, and that, he was gone immediately, pretty much, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor, though. That just didn't seem like heart pumping blood. That seemed like just a release, a valve release of blood almost. So would that kind of account for why there wouldn't have been a bunch of bleed out in the SUV nor carrying him into the hospital? I'm sorry if that's morbid for anybody, but I just kind of wanted to understand the SUV scene a little better.
Well, I think, again, we don't know for certain which SUV that actually was. So we don't know if the SUV that he saw wasn't.
Yeah, no, I just mean the SUVs that you've seen that Candace showed pictures of.
Yeah. Well, we were seeing them after they had been somewhat cleaned up. So I think there's a lot of caveats here. One, we have to assume at this point in time that the autopsy, we have to take it at face value and assume that the information that was in fact recorded is factual. That's the first assumption. The second assumption is that we have to assume that the reports we have received this far regarding the physician that took care of him, etc., are correct. There's a lot of assumptions here because we haven't actually seen those documents in their full entirety, nor have they been able to be questioned. But if what we're seeing is accurate, then absolutely he was gone the minute it happened. I think if you hadn't seen the show that Julian Dory did with Darren Coleman and the Scott Morgan guy, they explain it very well. And I think knowing what we know now with some of these additional theories, I think more than likely more than one thing occurred. But from an anatomical perspective, something that involves any type of electrical circuitry could certainly cause some of the muscular things that we saw, his fencing position, that was instantaneous, but could also explain why then he was gone so fast, if what we're seeing and being reported on the autopsy report is accurate. But at this point, obviously, there's so many questions. The biggest thing that for me is the amount of time it took them to, quote, do the autopsy. That is just humanly not possible. I don't care if you're a high profile individual. It just does, and especially at a small, tiny hospital like that, no way. Especially then being a murder investigation, you are automatically sent to the crime lab. And I mean, just the way everything went down, that it just isn't what would happen. It just isn't.
Yeah, and isn't there a scanner, a police scanner, where they're talking about escorting cars around, and somebody says on one of the scanners they're not going to do an autopsy?
Right. Now, some of that gets into the issue of doing one or not doing one. That's a legal question. That is not so much of do we do that in medicine, or if we do, how's that done? And Barron and the guy that he did the interview with go into that in great detail and explain that. Some of those things center around what is the law in Utah and who makes the determination of death and who makes the determination of whether or not there's an autopsy. And it's very specific in the state of Utah. And so that seems weird to most people, but given the law, which we've all learned is pretty wacky in Utah for good reason, given this case, that would explain some of the back and forth regarding that. But in terms of the time frame from which we are able to gather evidence from when we are told that he left and ended up at the other facility that was a couple hours away, if I recall, it just is not, you can't do a thorough autopsy, and that's
right. And then have him in a coffin the next day.
Yeah, you just can't. So that's the biggest issue, right? Is that we won't know until we can see an actual full autopsy and they be cross-examined.
Yeah,
because they may have, and they just have not reported that and published that. That's possible. But just logistically speaking, I would beg to differ, and you can pull an autopsy log. Every hospital has to log this. This stuff is logged in great detail, should be. That you could do take the past year and pull how many autopsies that hospital in that scenario did, and pull the people at the crime lab where this supposedly took place, and you can look at their logs and find out what was their average time to perform an autopsy. You know,
Right. Is that something the feds could pull rank on? Like if somebody made a call and like the VP's coming to snatch the body.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. But again, that gets back to the how fast that all happened. That would take a lot of coordination, right? You're having to pull people in. There's usually a couple people. There have to be a couple people in for an autopsy. You have the person performing it. You have usually at least one, if not two assistants.
Yeah, no, I meant pulling rank in as far as, no, we're coming in and you're not doing an autopsy. Like they got met at the facility by the feds, and the feds are like, thanks for the body, bye, and just took it. Like they never really, like I'm not against them having faked everything at this point, except not Charlie's death, but like all the reports and stuff.
No,
so
I'm with you. But
I'm just wondering if there was actually even an autopsy done in Utah at all.
Oh, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I think at this point, anything is possible. And if the whole idea of pulling rank, that would go contrary to the narrative, remember? Because Cash and them made it clear, oh, no, this isn't an FBI case. It's the state of Utah.
Yeah, except that they held most of the crime scene for the first 48 hours. Yeah.
So it just goes to that narrative, right? That nothing's adding up. You know, which is it? You are on the case or you're not on the case. Right.
So I guess you heard like Brian Harpole jumped on top of his body and cut off his shirt.
Yeah, that's complete nonsense.
Right? I mean, that doesn't happen, right?
I mean,
you know?
No. You would have a security guard on you so fast. I mean, no, that would never happen. I mean, that when he said that, anybody in the medical community, if you even have any exposure to a hospital and into medicine, the minute he said that, it was complete laughing stock. Like, does he actually think that people are going to buy that? I mean, that's insane. It's insane.
Well, and that nobody was waiting there. I mean, it's all on the police scanner traffic. Somebody from dispatch has called the hospital, even if nobody from Charlie's team has called anywhere. They all knew that the police knew. They would have called the hospital and said, you know, we got cars on the way, you know, coming in. So the fact that he lies and says the place was empty when they walked in and he had to grab his own gurney and find a room, like it's just all such.
I think that story was to cover up the fact that they cleared the ER.
Yep.
That is what that was about. He didn't think that people would be smart enough to go, dude, you can't walk into an ER and do what you just said.
That's also always confused me a little bit, because how I was, as the person in charge of the lobby of the ER, it was always difficult for me to hide what was happening from the patients that were just sitting there. There's plenty of patients sitting in every ER lobby. Whenever a child was brought in practically dead, everyone saw it. It was so hard to obscure, hide that from the patients. And I've always wondered, like, how come it wasn't anybody who saw these guys walk into the front entrance?
That's exactly what I said. And I also questioned, I realize that, HIPAA is in effect here, but I find it very hard to believe that nobody has come out and even acknowledged that they were working in the ER that day, right?
Yeah.
You can say you were working that day and not disclose anything about the person. It doesn't make any sense to me. And the other thing is that the surgeon that supposedly worked on him, he's a remote traveling surgeon. His whole story is sketch. I've got some colleagues in the military in medicine that have been doing some digging, and he's sketch. People that typically roam around and do locums work, particularly as a surgeon, there's something there. And hospitals don't staff. A hospital that size is not going to have and they keep saying he's a trauma surgeon. He's a pediatric surgeon by training. That's his background. And he happens to do some like gastric bypass stuff and other things, but he's not a full-fledged trauma surgeon. And there's been no record that I can find of an emergency room physician. We've only heard about Dr. Trovar, the surgeon. unless somebody can recall another name that I seem to have forgotten. But that in and of itself seemed very odd.
Just to do a recap, if new people came in, I see Anna's here. I see some new people here. We got a special guest today, Lit Mormon. He was there at Timpanogos Hospital that day, so just welcome him. He took some video and some pictures because his grandmother was in the hospital that day, was locked down. He was the last person to go in, and they locked it down. Anna, if you have any questions for him, because I know you're in the medical field as well, and also, was it Obama? Obama's a physician. So we have some great people in here asking some awesome questions. And yeah, welcome. And if you have any questions for Lit Mormon, Anna, like, do you have any? Just first of all, and let me know, because he was there. Yeah.
You've got an electrician back now.
Yes. Keats is an electrician as well. Thank you, Keats, for showing up.
Yeah, great panel. Thanks so much for having me on, Allie. And Lit Mormon, nice to meet you. I'm so glad that you're here. Yeah. Actually, if you don't mind, so my name's Anna. I'm one of the folks that's working on trying to figure this thing out. My professional background is in medicine, and I definitely would love to ask you about what the time of day was that you were there. And I totally understand. Sounds like your mom wasn't doing well. I'm sorry to hear that. But what time of day was it that you guys showed up, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, yeah, no problem. I'm sure people are coming and going. So just so you know, we talked about this stuff already.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, talked about it a million times. I don't care. I actually think this is kind of fun, so this is good.
Sure.
We rolled up probably at 1:04 p.m. Mountain Time. That's what I suspect, 1:04, 1:05.
Mm-hmm.
And my first video I shot was at 1:07 p.m. as we were walking in the front doors of the general admission for the hospital.
Gotcha.
And I posted video of it as well.
Oh, you're the gentleman. You're the person who had the where you were outside of the hospital.
He's the one.
Both?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my goodness! Wow, Allie, how wonderful for you to have someone who has that, direct information. Like,
I am so one special.
No.
He was very nice to come on. He didn't have to, and yeah.
Yeah, that's so kind and considerate, because there's a lot of us that, of course, have been wondering about just like how everything happened. So you said that you guys rolled up at around 1. Can I ask you a question that I just don't know the answer to? About how many beds, or like, how is it a big ER? It doesn't look like a super big ER, but is it like 20 rooms back there, or 5 rooms? Is it kind of small?
I do not know the answer to that. My grandmother was having a surgery, so she had a heart attack the day before. She was brought in through the ER the day before, and then she was admitted to the hospital that night. She stayed the night, and we showed up because she was having an angiogram, and then she ended up having like a stent placed after she had a heart attack. So I never actually walked in the ER door entrance. It was right next to us, and it was being taped off as I walked in. I wish I had looked in more. But I didn't.
You were busy with family. I hope she's doing well. So you were definitely. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. So I was wondering. So you were saying it's being taped off. Do you mean the outside of it? The outside doors, the inside doors?
Yes, these are the outside doors. You can actually see in the video I posted a police officer putting up tape as I'm walking up. He's wrapping it around the pole at 1:07 p.m. And though that police tape stretched from they covered the ER doors and the general admission doors.
So they weren't having folks come in or out of the ED itself at that point.
Right. Well, at that point, I can't say. When I went in, I didn't know I was walking into a lockdown. No one else entered in with me, except my mom, of course. And as I entered in, it seemed like the tape was being put up behind us, so nobody else could come in. That's why I say I think we were the last people that were allowed into the hospital. But I didn't know that I was walking into what would become a future lockdown. When I tried to leave a short time after, It wasn't very long before I tried to leave. Probably within a half hour, I tried to leave because I left my phone charger in the car and I wanted to go out and get it. That was when I was notified we're in lockdown. And the police officer said, you can go out and get your charger, but you can't come back in. And so I was thinking about it. I was like, I can't leave my mom here by herself. Then the police officer got news over the radio that nobody was even allowed to walk out at all. And that's when the police officer said, you can't even leave. And you have to go back upstairs to your room.
And so that's fascinating. That's great information. So after about 30 minutes, you had that conversation. Do you know around how long they wanted you guys to stay there?
They would not say. And I asked a few times. I even tried to ask the nurses station when we were going to let go, but nobody had any information as to how long they would keep us there.
That sounds stressful.
I'll say also one thing I talked about is when I walked in, I did overhear on police radio that they were asking for, Charlie's team was asking for a chaplain.
And what time is that approximately?
That was when we walked in, so I'd say around 7 p.m. It was like as we walked in the doors, I could hear it on the police radio. I was being a little bit nosy, but I heard them ask for a chaplain at that time.
All right, yeah, okay. And so it came over the officer's radio, and then the officer is the person who ended up, or one of the officers are the people who ended up saying that you weren't able to leave. So how did you get out of there, and like what time around?
They didn't allow anyone to leave until around almost 6:30 p.m. I think 6:15 or so we were allowed to leave.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it was after they fed us while we were there. You know, the hospital staff didn't seem to think anything was weird of us being locked down. And I speculated that I didn't think it was because of an active threat. They said for security measures. That's what he told me, for security measures. Nobody said anything about a roaming shooter trying to get into the hospital. Nobody said anything about that. They just said for security measures. I speculated after many hours that maybe they were locking us down because somebody important is coming. Maybe the president or the vice president are coming. I also speculated maybe they really are trying to keep the press out of here. But looking out the windows, I didn't see any press trying to get in. So that was odd to me as well.
And so you didn't see any press trying to get in. Did you see, was there any kind of unusual movement outside? I'm sure there are a ton of police cars and all that stuff, but nothing else.
There were the SUVs as I walked up. I remember there being two SUVs, but in the video you can only see one. And I trust my memory a little bit about the two SUVs only because I remember there being two, and I only found out a few days ago that there were two black SUVs. I didn't know. I knew what I saw. I saw two SUVs parked in the front when we got there, two black ones, and there was like a white truck or something in there too with a couple of police cars. The police cars didn't surprise me because as I was driving there on the freeway, I was passed by a police car with his lights on going, he was going very, very fast. As far as the outside, since we were confined mostly to our rooms, the only thing I could do was look out the windows, and I saw Vigil slowly gather. I saw the parking lot was blocked off by a single car, weirdly parked out there. And then I saw one, I guess now we found out it's like a Toyota Tundra, parked out in front with flags, American flags on. And I recall that car being there first and being there for a long time, being there the entire time. Those people didn't join the vigil. They just stayed out in front of the hospital next to their Tundra with the American flags on it. And I do recall one member of the press. And I want to say she was an African-American lady. I want to say she was wearing a red dress. And that she had a camera person with her, and she was recording what looked to be something maybe live or maybe something pre-recorded that would later be put on the news. And I watched her for a short period of time, but I didn't see any other press at all.
And so when you say that there was a vigil, you're talking about just like community members were coming and wanting to just, see if they could come pray or just see what they could see, that sort of thing?
Yeah, it was a very gradual growth. I can say that the people that showed up with flags and with posters, it wasn't, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of people here. It was slow. It started out with a few people, and then it started out with a few more people who were just walking around the hospital. They were walking the block with like flags. And then slowly more and more people came. And by the time we were released, I drove by the front with my mom, took some video at 6:24. It had grown, but it was very slow. There wasn't and all of a sudden there's 1,000 people out front. It was just very slow growth.
Sure, I definitely understand. I'm sure people wanted to come and pay their respects. So when they did give the all clear, did they come and actually let you guys know that everything was all clear, or was it announced overhead, or did you just happen to leave and they finally said it was fine?
That's a good question. I kind of, at around 6, I think it was, I kind of started to be a little bit more annoying and saying, when are we going to be able to get out of here? And it was shortly after that they let us go. I said to the officer, well, how am I going to know that this is over? When can I leave? Because what are you going to announce it on the PA? Are you going to come to my room personally? I was concerned that they were going to end the lockdown and then I wouldn't know. And I'd be sitting in that room for hours. So, very shortly after that, one of the nurses from the nurses station came and said, the lockdown's over, you can leave now. They went to each individual room and let all the visitors go. And they wouldn't let us go out the front doors. So even though we were parked in the handicap parking right in front, I was parked probably within maybe 50 feet of the black SUVs. Because I was in a handicap spot. They still made us exit out, kind of like a rear employee exit, escorted by the police. The police officer was going to escort us, but then some nurses were going out because they were ending their shift, and they said, we'll take them, because I didn't know how to get out. And so those nurses walked us out of some sort of weird employee exit on what I remember being the south side of the building.
Thank you so much for answering that. Can I? Oh, sorry. Wisha was asking a question. Sorry, Keats.
But that's how you know someone's not lying, because they can recount their story the exact same way every time.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, I have no reason to make anything up.
with no extra details, like a lot of, oh my gosh, Frank Turk, we can go there. But go.
So sorry, can I ask one more quick question?
Sure.
While we're on this topic. So you said that the nurses came, or someone came room to room to let you guys know that it seemed like the lockdown was pretty much ready to be ended. And you guys were you on a med surge floor or cardiac floor? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And in that hospital, it looks like it's not a really super big hospital. It looks like it's, kind of a medium-sized one. But on the floor that you were on, is that on the second floor? Is that on the fourth floor? Do you happen to remember?
I can't remember how many floors there are at Timpanogos, but I remember being at the top. So we were either at the third or the fourth floor. Which gave me a pretty good view in the video that you see. Gave me a pretty good view of what was going on outside of the hospital. Some of the views that you see are actually from separate rooms that are nearby my grandma's room. My grandma's room didn't have a great view, and so I tried to. I snuck into, with my mom and my aunt, we snuck into some of the rooms that had no one in them. We didn't feel like we should have been in there, but we went in there anyway because we wanted to see the people gathering and walking around. So some of the video that you see came from a different room.
So I think you said the third floor, right? I think you said somewhere. You said the third.
Yeah, it was either third or fourth. It's one of those ones. I can't remember.
You don't know how many floors it had?
I don't remember how many floors were up there. I remember being either at the top or very near the top. But I know that we were either the third or the fourth floor.
And Allie, it has 4 floors. It's 122 beds and has 16 ER beds.
Thank you. How many? Sorry, how many was that?
16 in the ER.
16 in the ER. Wow. Okay.
Small ER.
122 total.
Well, honestly, I was actually expecting it to be a little bit smaller, given that it sounds like they had, transported everyone who was in the ED, and so that's just so.
Anna, they locked down the other hospital too.
You're kidding.
Nope, that's what he said, right?
Yes, that's what I've heard from. Okay, look, information is never good third hand, and I'm sorry about that. But
no, it's okay.
If my mother were here, who was also a witness to all of this, she would say, yeah, that my grandma, a short time after that, went to Utah Valley Hospital, and the nurses that were treating her there said, hey, we were locked. She was telling them we got locked down during, the Charlie Kirk assassination, and the nurses at Utah Valley Hospital said, we were locked down too over here.
Oh, but wow. Anna, don't you remember Barron talked about that when he played the police scanner calls when they were looking for the Qureshi guy?
Right. Why was I thinking that was only like early?
I don't think it was for very long. I mean, I would imagine it may not have been for very long, but there was quite a bit of time, remember, while they were searching for that Qureshi guy.
Right. Why did I think that they had actually apprehended him relatively quickly? If someone can remind me about like approximately when he was actually caught, Qureshi.
Yeah, I think probably by the time that happened, and then because even the police scanners, you could tell none of them really knew what the heck was going on. I mean, you could just tell in their communication the way they were talking. Yeah, so I can imagine that the communication back of like when to, take a hospital off lockdown, it sounded like there was a whole lot of uncertainty and chaos going on everywhere. So
that sounds chaotic.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what the volume of patients typically is in the Timpanogos ER, right? Because if the volume is not very many, then it would not be that hard for them to quote unquote shuttle patients out.
Right. I mean, the hard part for me is that any ED patient for ED to ED transfer, any patient transfer, you are never ever doing that by shuttle. It's so right. And so I'm thinking like, for an earthquake or something, that's kind of the only scenario.
What we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier. So that's why it would be interesting if we could find anybody that had been at that hospital.
Right.
I can jump in on that. So I was in a space probably a week or so ago with a nurse. Don't quote me. I cannot remember her name. But she was saying that the hospital that's not the main hospital of that area. It's quite a small hospital, and they're lucky to see maybe one serious, like a GSW or stab wound or anything. They don't generally go to that hospital. So why Charlie went there, I don't know. Because it's not.
You're required to go to the nearest hospital. You're in that situation. You're required to go to the nearest facility, and technically they're a level 3 trauma center. So by standards, they are capable of stabilizing.
They are correct. But
so that part didn't seem so bizarre. But
was Utah Valley the nearest hospital, or was Timpanogos the nearest hospital? Because when I posted that I think he's here at Timpanogos, I had people messaging and saying, you're lying. Why did he go there?
And that's a great question.
I know, and I think there was some debate about the route in which they went in terms of what was the shortest route.
Isn't it like 8 minutes apart or something, each the hospital? I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, but it is whatever route they took.
I believe Utah Valley is closer. It's significantly closer.
And they wouldn't have been required either. Because they weren't EMTs. They could have gone wherever they wanted to go.
Right, they went by private vehicle.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so they wouldn't have been routed anywhere. And I just don't know why they chose Timpanogos, because Utah Valley Hospital is closer.
If they knew that that ER had been, you understand? I mean, that does fit then with this narrative that clearly people knew and created the situation that the ER was cleared out.
Can I ask a question?
But first, sorry, Wisha had her hand up. Go ahead, Wisha.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I don't want to get you guys sidetracked. I just had a quick question. I noticed that there was a dumpster underneath the window in your video, and I just wanted to ask if you saw anybody throwing anything away in there. Like, I know that's a weird question, but
no, I didn't see anything like that. Okay, so which video are you talking about?
It's the one where you're looking out the window where they were looking at the trucks earlier.
Okay, yeah, and it's a video?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. No, I didn't see anything like that. I really didn't. I don't know. There's a picture that I took from a stairwell. And that was, let me see. I need to look through some of my posts. But there was a picture that I took from that you can almost see like some railing. It's a stairwell, and it was shortly after, my memory says it was shortly after the police officer told me, you can't leave. And so I, at that point, tried to get video of or some pictures of what was actually going on. Because I thought maybe I could get some pictures of his team arriving or leaving or something like that. But
right.
No, I didn't see anything weird happening as much as I tried to be nosy.
Yeah, there was just, like I said, I noticed that dumpster there, and I was like, oh, if you wanted to dispose of stuff, maybe.
Yeah, thank you. No, I didn't see anything like that.
Okay.
Hey, according to Google, the hospital, just putting in, UVU, of course, I guess depends on where exactly on the campus they were, but Timpanogos is a mile closer.
Okay, well, there it is. Yeah, I don't know the area. I don't know well enough. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah, I just put it in
3
Google.
hours from here.
Yeah, I just put it in Google.
Yeah, I can tell you that when I said he was at Timpanogos, everybody questioned me, like, what are you talking about? There's no way he's here. And that's the only reason I actually posted the video. I posted, somebody said, you're currently lying. And I said, I'm literally here right now. And I only posted the video so that people would believe me. Because no one seemed to think that he should be at this hospital. Everybody it seemed to be the consensus, like he should definitely go to Utah Valley Hospital at the time.
Maybe that's where they thought he was going to go. So they went to the other one because of, swarming people.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know.
As far as the ED being emptied out, I can't say that I saw anything like that. All I can say was at 1:07 p.m., the police tape was going up as I walked in. There was no police tape. As far as I know, there's no police tape up in advance. Just at that time, it was being put up.
Hey, can I ask a question? So the staff that was there and taking care of you guys, at the nurse's station, you said that you had headed up there a couple of times just to kind of, see if you could see what the timeline was going to be and all that good stuff. Was there anything unusual about the ways that the staff was behaving? I mean, I'm not asking you to get inside their minds or anything, but was there anything obvious or that stood out to you about the staff? I'm sure that everybody was trying to make sure they followed HIPAA and was quiet and everything like that. But nothing kind of funky or weird. People not knowing where to find stuff or...
No, that's a good question. I interacted with maybe a dozen staff members, a hospitalist, a surgeon. I even interacted with some janitors and a couple nurses. The janitors were the most open. They were the ones who would talk about anything, but nobody had much information to share. The attitude was very somber. Yeah, I remember it felt very somber. I said this before earlier. It felt very sad. Like everybody was very interested. I didn't see anything peculiar amongst any of the staff members other than the fact that they seemed that there was a mood that went through all the halls of kind of sadness. And I said earlier, even when my grandmother was taken to the place where she had the surgery, we were able to go with her, and then we sat outside of it in some chairs. I can't remember how long it was, maybe 45 minutes. There were a couple of TVs up that had the news on. And from time to time, nurses would pass by, I don't know if they were all nurses. Some could be other staff. They would pass by, and they would stop and watch the TV and watch and hear about what was happening. And I could even hear some chit chat about it, but never with much information. Just kind of like, oh man, this is horrible. And I recall talking to one nurse for a while, but none of anything that she said seemed to. Anyway, so they definitely didn't violate HIPAA, and I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It's just that everybody seemed really upset. That's all.
Sure. Yeah, very understandable. It's always hard in those situations. So I'm glad that it was handled properly. Were the staff talking to each other?
Yes.
Like normal yes. Communication with them? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was a little hushed. It was a little hushed, because they could see me and my aunt and my mom around. So I could overhear that they were chatting, but there wasn't a lot of anything that I could hear. Yeah.
And there wasn't any. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know if this makes any difference at all, but they seemed to take note of the fact that we were there for a really long time, and they were sweet, and they brought us sandwiches from the cafeteria.
I'm glad they took good care of you guys. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah. There wasn't any delays or anything for your grandma or anything like that. Like they couldn't find somebody, or they, it seemed kind of relatively normal as far as it's not like it was an empty hallway or something, totally empty of people, right?
Well, I would say that there didn't seem to be a lot going on. And, I'm up in maybe a med tele department or something. I don't know how busy it is. When I worked in the hospital, I was specifically in the emergency department, so it was always hopping. But it did seem quite empty. Like I said, I even snuck into some empty rooms so that I could see out. Nobody seemed to stop me or care. I don't recall seeing more than maybe a couple patients up there. But everything was done very timely, from the hospitalist to the surgeon. It was super on time, and they did a great job. But I'll be honest, I know that there were other visitors, and I think I even chatted with one old guy who was a visitor, but I can't recall seeing more than one other patient up there. And there were a lot of open rooms.
That's fascinating because, realistically, just from a standard protocol, perspective, those patients who, were in the ED, if they truly cleared it out, the idea that there were empty rooms on a, med surg or a med tele unit that were there in hospital and available, that's not great. You know what I mean? Those patients should have been moved.
And I can attest to the fact that there were a lot of empty rooms, because even the video that you see of me taking from the vigil outside, that was just an empty room. And there were a lot of them that I went in to look around and see what was happening, just because the view was better from their windows.
Honestly, I'm should any of those, patients that were moved out of there, if they happen to ever listen to this space, please contact, an attorney, because you should not have been moved from that hospital. That is so outside of the norm. That is just, it's remarkable. And myself and pretty much every other person I've spoken to who's in medicine and deals with kind of that operations and coordination, it's that is one of the most shocking pieces of information for us. The idea that you would, quite literally risk your entire hospital's license on the idea of not putting those patients in separate individual ambulance for transportation is just, it's totally, totally shocking just to hear that might have happened. So if anyone, is out there, please contact an attorney in the press, because that you have a great lawsuit that you can take against, if that's really what happened. So But at any rate, I'm glad that your experience, although I'm sure it was really, really troubling and awful, I'm glad that you guys were well taken care of during that time.
Thank you.
Did you see any, hold on, did you see any coroners, vehicles pulling in? I know you're not like looking out the window all the time, but did you happen to see anything coming or going? No?
Yeah, that's a good question. No, I did not. I would have recognized it. I would have recognized it. When I worked in the emergency department, I was the person who would call the proper people to come get bodies. I'd often prep the bodies and get them into our back refrigerators or rooms that we had in the back. And I often had to call. I didn't often call the coroner myself. I didn't do that because that was above my pay grade. I would just call the funeral homes or whatever. But I often, because we didn't have anybody else to do it, it became my job. Whenever the guy showed up to take the bodies, I would help him, take it out. So I'm very familiar with what their vehicles look like, and I didn't see anything like that. Now, that doesn't mean that one didn't show up, because I didn't have a view of all sides of the hospital, so I don't know.
Do we know what hospital Hunter Kozak's kid was at? You remember his wife had just had that baby and was in the NICU. Do we know which hospital they were at?
I don't know. I don't know if he mentioned it on an interview somewhere. I have no idea.
That would be very interesting if he was at if they were at that hospital.
That would be very interesting. Maybe that's why I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything because I have no idea about that story. He did go to UVU and leave. Yes. Okay.
Yep. They both did.
They both did.
Supposedly. Yep. And that whole story made no sense. Let me just tell you, Anna, you could probably chime in on this too. I don't know what your medical background is, but the story that they gave about her coming out of the hospital and that there was a wheelchair there, and none of that made any medical sense at all. That is just not plausible.
I mean, I do know that I wondered how many kiddos they have. I did do, NICU and Mother Baby and L&D for a while. And what I'll say is, if it's your fourth kiddo and baby's just totally fine and healthy and needs just a little bit of extra time in the incubator, a little more cook time, we have seen, of course, especially if they have other children, parents will come and go if baby is safe and stable. But yes, it is a bit of a surprise. I guess we'll put it like that. I'm not here to make any judgment on what their, family story is and everything. But it's really, it's unfortunate. It's not unheard of. That's how I would classify it without knowing more. If it's their first kiddo and kiddo, was not doing hot, then that would be a heck of a thing. And usually it's kind of a rotational thing. But again, every family's different. Could be, fourth baby, mom's basically up and walking same day, totally fine, no biggie. And they got to go and take care of the other littles. I mean, you never know. But I'd say
it sounded like, I think I may be incorrect in what I remember hearing, because there were a couple different interviews he did. But I thought the story is that the baby was preterm and that she had some complications, like she had some issues. And I think it was, I want to say 3 days prior, maybe. I might have that wrong. But it would just be interesting to know if they were at that hospital or not. Because they left that day, to come. Right. And then I think he left and then came back again to the campus that same day.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And it would almost be worse if they had other children. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you've got one in the NICU, and then who's got your other children? Because they weren't at the thing with them.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if they have other children, but that just makes the story all the more bizarre. But you leave one in the hospital, and if you have other ones, they're with I don't know who. To go to this, the whole story just is crazy to me.
It's definitely uncommon. So I just, I don't want to speculate because I don't know them and I don't know enough. I think for myself anyway, my focus has been on the fact that Hunter's gestures really did seem unusual. And I think that hopefully I personally haven't heard what exactly was going through his mind with that kind of what looked like, whatever he was doing before Charlie got up there. But that would be kind of where, that's enough of a question for me anyway, just no matter who was accompanying him. It was unusual. And I think it would be really great to get to the bottom of that.
One other question. I looked at the videos and I may be missing one, but as I tried to look through the videos and the pictures you shared, I don't even see one black SUV in them. I must be missing a video or a photo or something. I see the police SUVs, but I don't even see one black SUV.
I think it's one by he's taking at the corner of the window, if I'm correct, right?
No, it's actually okay, so this is a good question because that initial video, I couldn't see the SUV either. And I was like, I know they're there. And somebody took a zoomed in screenshot.
Yeah.
You can't see it in the video unless you pause it at the right time and zoom in. And they took a screenshot. Somebody posted it as a reply. Let me see if I can find it. But it is there.
It must be under the awning.
Is it the one where you're filming from where the helicopter pad is, like through the window?
No, it's actually when I'm walking in the front.
Walking. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Because I see what looks like a white SUV in there.
Yeah, it's in front of that. It's some. Let me see if I can find it. Somebody shared it somebody replied to my video with a screenshot of the video zoomed in where you can see the black SUV parked in front of that white truck.
And there's a white SUV that looks like maybe hospital security because it looks like it has something maybe on the top.
I just posted a picture of it.
Thank you, Wisha.
You can see like the brake light in front of the white truck.
Thank you. Yeah, because I was disappointed that I didn't catch it because I knew that they were there, and I was disappointed I didn't catch it in the video. And then someone screenshotted that, and I was very grateful that somebody was able to at least zoom in and see it. I was kicking myself I don't know. I made that video for my family because everybody was talking about Charlie, just to put in the family chat. So I didn't know everything that was going to come from it, or I would have recorded more.
So right in front of the white pickup truck is the SUV, correct?
Right.
Okay, thank you. I put it up in the nest so you guys can take a look. And
trust me, if there's anything in any of those videos, Wish is going to find it.
Yeah,
no, that's great. That's great.
So okay, so
I'm so
yes,
sorry.
go ahead. I have somebody. I think Elu had a question.
Yulo. Yeah, I was scrolling on TikTok a couple weeks ago, and I seen this lady that used to work at Timpanogos on there. I shared her profile in the chat. I could not find the video. I don't know if they flagged it or whatever. I don't know if somebody wants to message her. She sounds like she has actually more information about people that work inside of Timpanogos and how they are all, or at least the ones in charge and the surgeon, they're all tied to the military. I don't know if this is old news. I don't know if anybody's seen that lady's video, but I wanted to throw that out there just in case, and she might have some valuable information. Doesn't look like her TikTok has a lot of traction. She was she actually worked for Timpanogos, or she was a patient, or she worked for Timpanogos, then she became a patient or something. So you'd have to find the video. I would look for it, but I'm driving right now, so you guys are in my AirPods. But my AirPods. But yeah, she pretty much said that a lot of the people there, the nurses, the doctors, the surgeons, they're all former military people.
Wow, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Hey, I did have another question, Mr. Mormon. I was wondering, can you tell me, so you mentioned that there were two black SUVs and that you were parked not far away from them. When you went to leave, were they still in the same spot?
Okay, so I've talked about this earlier.
Sorry.
I remember. No, it's okay. I want to say it. I remember there being two. I don't remember there being just one.
Sure.
In the video, I can only see one, but I remember there being two. And I also remember them still being there when I left.
And so, but they were kind of in the same area. They hadn't, pulled them somewhere else.
I can't say 100% for certain, but I remember as I was leaving that they were still there and had not been moved. There's also the possibility that only one was there. But in my mind, I remember two. I don't want to say that there were two there, but I tend to believe my mind because now that I've gone back and looked at video from that they've released from the campus, I see that there are two black SUVs. And at the time, I didn't even know that Charlie's team had black SUVs. I just remember seeing two of them there. And I did find it strange that they were still parked in the same spot. They seemed to not been moved, which I understand that the hospital was locked down, so they weren't allowing patients in. And that meant that there's no real reason to move cars out of the roundabout. But I can say that whenever we had, at the hospital I worked at, whenever we had a patient that came in a traumatic way like that, we very quickly moved their car out of the way. Mostly because, other people would drive in through there, so it was imperative that we don't block the roundabout. But 5.5 hours later, those two still were parked right there in front.
That's interesting. And you didn't happen to see anyone around them when you didn't happen to see anyone rifling through them or officers guarding the vehicles or nothing unusual?
No, I do remember vaguely that one of the vehicle doors was open, and I'm not sure if you can see that in the screenshot, but I can't remember if it was the one on the left or on the right, but I remember vaguely in my mind that one of those was kind of left quickly, and it was open and not secure and closed the way that you normally would. I didn't think that was that weird either, because if somebody pulls up and goes in, you might just leave the door open. But I didn't see anyone near those vehicles at all, and I didn't see a person outside when I walked up, except for that police officer putting up the tape. I didn't see anyone from Charlie's team. I thought maybe one of the people on the inside talking to a nurse was someone from Charlie's team, but I can't even couldn't pick them out of a lineup what any of those people looked like. I know that there was an officer nearby when I walked in because I heard the police radio say that they were asking for a chaplain. So.
That's great information. Thank you so much for this. And just to be clear, you're saying that one of the doors on one of the SUVs seemed to have been ajar. Do you mean on your way in, on your way out, or both?
That was on the way in.
On the way in.
Yes,
okay, gotcha.
On the way in.
Gotcha. But they weren't secured. I mean, it wasn't like someone standing guard over them.
No, there was no one nearby.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
I'm just adding stuff to the chat to some other different. Actually, got a picture of the SUV. Hold on. One moment, guys.
Is it possible that you saw when you're thinking
all doors open? Picture of the SUV. All doors, trunk open in the nest. Getting a video. Putting in the nest.
Is it possible that when you're thinking that you saw two in the picture where you're only seeing one, is it possible when you went to go back down to get your charger that's when you saw the two SUVs? Because I think that would make sense that Charlie and them arrived first and then that other SUV showed up after. Is that maybe a possibility?
I think anything is a possibility and I don't want to state anything definitively.
Sure.
And as far as these SUVs go, I just know, I believe there were two there. I know definitely there was one there. And I remember I don't even remember how many doors were open, but I remember something was open about one of those SUVs. That's all I know. And they didn't move. They maybe closed it up, but I know that they were there from beginning to end. At least in my mind, till the end. We were escorted out the back, and I had to walk all the way around to get back to my mom's car to the front. In my mind, I remember those SUVs still being there as we left, because I was thinking, I was wondering if Erica was there, if his wife was there. I didn't know her name was Erica at the time, but I was wondering if his wife was already there with them. And I remember thinking, the team has been here a long time. 5.5 hours is a long time to stay at a hospital, with somebody passed away. I thought, did they not have a hotel room? Like, they're here a long time. And those SUVs, that's what I remember thinking. So my thought is that those SUVs were still there. Again, it's been a year, so I don't want to make stuff up.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that you wanted to go and get your charger, but you had the ultimatum to whether you left, you couldn't come back, so you didn't go. Yeah. Right. At first, that was the ultimatum. That ultimatum lasted about 30 seconds. They said, yeah, you can go out, but you can't come back in. And then over the radio, a very short time later, somebody said, no, they can't even go outside. And so the whole decision to get my charger or not was pretty much made for me when they said, no, you can't. Yeah, correct. So you didn't leave and go and come back. That's what I'm getting at. But I can tell you this, from those rooms, from that lobby, which isn't very big, that main entrance lobby. And when I say lobby, that's giving it more than it deserves. I don't remember there being even like more than 2 chairs in that. Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. It's tiny. Like, it's nothing. It's an entrance. For an entrance to the hospital, whatever. Yeah. But there were a lot of windows, so I could definitely see. I could see all those SUVs parked out in front, no problem. From that lobby. Right. Again, thank you. Wasn't just hospital security. From time to time, I believe that it was just hospital security, but there was an officer nearby almost all the time. And if you've worked in like an emergency room before, there's hospital security, and they always default what's the word for it? They listen to police when they're there, and the police kind of sometimes take over a little bit. So the guy actually who was allowing me to leave, get my charger, and saying couldn't come back in. I vaguely recall there being the hospital security nearby, but almost 6:30 when I finally was allowed to leave.
Here we go.
The same police officer at that front door.
And do you happen to know like which level of police officer? Like, was that FBI? Was that?
I just hold on one second. It's Allie. There's bots in here, of course. So I had to go on to a different account of, just saying I'm here, but, I don't want to leave the stream. Yeah. Not leaving the stream. So, just keep going. I'm here, but I can't, like, if I leave, then the whole space ends. So just letting you know, I'm still here, but I'm using a different account.
That was, okay, cool. That was actually a good question. I don't know. I can't say. It struck me as local police, but I can't recall. I couldn't even tell if it was a sheriff versus a police officer. I couldn't recall.
Okay. And this will sound like a kind of a strange question, but did any of them happen to be wearing like cowboy style hat?
I think that actually is a good question. I can't say.
Okay.
I can't say. I'm sorry. It seems like something okay. I would have remembered too. I think I would have remembered that. No,
and my hopefully maybe last question: were there still people like employees sitting at like the registration type desks, nurses station, etc., even though pretty much everything was otherwise cleared out?
Good question. So when I walked in and heard someone asking for the chaplain, I remember there being multiple people there. One of them was in scrubs. And somebody looked like a civilian, but that was somehow related to the team. And then I know there was a police officer in there, but I don't recall there being anyone sitting at like the
water with some
typical greeting station that you would have at an entrance. And I know that by the time I left, it was a ghost town down there. There was nobody in there.
Sorry, guys.
Do you remember what the civilian person was wearing?
I can't. I wish I could.
Okay.
I wish I could. I can only remember a vague impression of them, as this has been a year. It seemed like somebody related to Charlie's team.
There for care.
But I can't recall. I'm sorry. And
okay.
Also, it seemed like a woman. That's pretty much what I remember.
Oh,
I don't know that Charlie had any women on his team, but at
Younger,
this point,
older, do you remember any details?
probably my memory says someone not younger, maybe somebody in their 40s.
Was she handing out mints by any
not
chance?
younger and then giving an age.
Okay, so I'm in my 40s. She seemed to be
if she was handing out mints, that's part of the security team, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I didn't see any mints or anything like that.
That's funny. Hey, can I ask a question about you mentioned that your Wi-Fi was better downstairs. Is it just kind of, normal inside, not great Wi-Fi? Does the hospital not have one that you guys were able to use?
Oh man, that's a really good question. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember if I logged into the hospital Wi-Fi or not. I remember that there was a hospital Wi-Fi, but I can't remember if I was actually on it or not.
Sure. But no problems with your recordings, with, you swear you took a video of something and then you got home and, wow, the video didn't save, nothing funny like that.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. I did check my videos because I'm the kind of person that likes to edit out the front and the back. So I went back and checked my videos to make sure I didn't edit them down because I wanted to get as much information as I could out of them. But I didn't see that I'd done that. I do have 2 more videos that I took that I have not shown to anybody, but they're completely unrelated. They're just, my grandma was talking to the surgeon and my grandma was talking to the hospitalist. And I recorded those conversations because everyone in my family is really bad at communicating and all my brothers and sisters want to know what's going on with grandma. So I recorded the surgeon talking and I recorded the hospitalist talking so that I could then forward it on to my family. So I do have like a couple more videos that are like a minute long, but it's only stuff that a doctor would be interested in. So it's just talking about her heart and stuff,
Sure. Yeah. Then that's private for grandma. So we totally got it for sure. A quick question though, the doctors that were there, you mentioned that she had been seen the day before. Was it any provider that she had seen before, or were they new faces? Do you happen to know?
The hospitalist was the same as the day before. I met him for the first time when he entered the room, but it was the same person. The surgeon was a new person, and I only saw him when we went in after the operation was done, and he wanted to show us what he had done. He showed us a video of what he had done.
Gotcha.
The hospitalist was nobody new, and know that he was a member of my faith because at one point, my grandmother asked for like a blessing, like laying on of hands blessing. And I found the hospitalist was just right there. He just left the room and I asked him if he would come in. I assumed he was a member of our church because everybody here is, it seems like. And he was, and he came in and he assisted us with the blessing of my grandmother. So that there were no strangers around that I knew of. Like no, I think what you're asking, does there seem to be any staff that didn't belong there?
Yeah.
And I didn't see anybody like that.
Gotcha. Okay. And it was someone that she was already familiar with from her previous day's trip.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. It's exactly what I was wondering.
Did anybody else have any questions? So, a question for you. After everything, I don't know if you've seen all the stuff that us have been working on for the last, since September, all these months. Have you seen anything, Lit Mormon? Have you seen anything of, the investigations that, independent people like us are doing?
Only since this, in the last 72 hours, since my post finally, people started noticing them. Only since then, I've heard rumblings here and there because I listen to, I'm a guy who listens to podcasts, and I've heard rumblings here and there. My mom thinks Candace Owens is psychotic, so she'll sometimes say things, but she's highly opinionated. So I've heard stuff here and there. I've joined your live stream a few times anonymously.
Really? Which one? Like the spaces or the live?
Yeah, your spaces.
Okay.
Yeah, I joined your space either last night or the night before. I can't remember, anonymously. And I quickly realized I don't know anything. Because you guys were talking about stuff and naming names of people I've never heard of before. I don't know.
Just like, did you know that the SUV was auctioned? All the stuff, lots of stuff was still in it.
I didn't know any of this.
SD card was taken. There's so many things that are just bizarre in this case. It's just the accounts of Frank and Brian Harpole are so different. There are drones, there's no drones. One saying CPR, no CPR was done. Harpole's jumping on top of Charlie, ripping off his shirt at the hospital, telling the doctors what meds to give. It's just actually incredibly bizarre. The list goes on and on. I mean, there's so much more. We can't see Tyler Robinson. 2 different backpacks. Actually 4 now. 2 different hats. I don't know. Anybody want to add? Like, there's so much.
Do many people work on Sunday there?
It's more now than it used to be. My businesses, I own businesses out here. They're all closed on Sundays. But I've found that going out on Sunday is the best day because there's very little traffic and you can actually go shopping with a lot less people. So yeah, there's not a lot going on Sundays. In fact, I don't even remember what day of the week this was that Charlie was killed. I know my business was open, so I know it was a Monday through Saturday. But
it was a Wednesday. Yeah, it was a Wednesday.
Okay, so it doesn't surprise me that on a Wednesday at 1:00, the emergency room does not have very many people in it, especially something like Timpanogos. So my first rumblings of this was to reject the tip that I heard Candace got that the ED was emptied out and taped off, because my video showed that it wasn't being taped off until well after Charlie had passed. And so in my head, I thought, this is nonsense. But I had already felt because I've listened to Rogan, and he has a passing knowledge of some things that are weird, and he'll mention it sometimes. And some of the things that he's mentioned about the Charlie Kirk case has caught my ear, and I thought, yeah, that is really weird. But it wasn't until these posts started to take off, and I started to look into the things that you guys had shared, that I was like, this is crazy. I just think the regular person like me, who I am politically involved, I listen to a podcast that is a radio show 4 hours a day. I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh and reading all his books as a kid. I'm very politically involved, but the average person like me hears the name Candace Owen and thinks crazy.
Well,
and I think once you look into it, you realize there's some weird stuff going on,
Yeah, definitely. When you mentioned Rush Limbaugh, I'm going to recommend a gentleman who works on this case, and a lot of people find that he has a similar spirit, and I mean that in the most complimentary way. He's a man named Baron Coleman, and he's an attorney. He is an excellent investigator. He's really, really, really done an amazing job. of looking through the case in a way that's very reasonable. And he has a great show. He has, it's on most days of the week, and it's on YouTube. He has a clip channel, and I'm just going to recommend it. Like, a little shout out here. Most of us investigators, at the very least, have a great deal of respect for the man, because he is ethical, honest, and has really been on top of things. And it's family friendly. But a little shout out and recommendation. If you check out his clip channel, because I don't know, if you love a 4-hour podcast, that's your guy too. But if you check out his clip channel, he goes through, and there will be a lot of them about the clips will be like oddities that happened on that day, and so it's a great place to find condensed information that I think it sounds like would be really, really interesting as you're, kind of diving into this.
He's been tagged in a bunch of my videos. I see people tagging him and Candace. Those are the two people I see tagged all the time. So
yeah, I think you'd like it, to be honest with you, if you like Rush Limbaugh. For those of us who loved him,
that was my childhood. I could listen to him. I listened to him, as just a little child before I even went to kindergarten. My earliest memories are my mom listening to Rush Limbaugh. So I remember in 6th grade reading that we had a reading time, and I pulled out a book called The Way Things Ought to Be by Rush Limbaugh, and my 6th grade teacher was appalled that I was reading it in class. I didn't understand half of what it said in there, but I just wanted to be cool. But hey, I did want to ask you guys a question about this, because I don't listen to Candace enough to know. The tip that she received that the emergency department was emptied out, that was a tip that she got. Am I right?
I believe so. Yes.
She said it's a tip. She didn't say who the tip came from. Am I right?
A lot of her tips she doesn't say.
Okay.
Yeah.
That same tip say that the emergency department was taped off in advance? Because that's what I thought I'd heard. That she got a tip. She didn't reveal her source, obviously. That the emergency room was both emptied and taped off in advance of Charlie's arrival. Am I wrong?
I recall something about perhaps it being emptied out, but I don't recall specifically anything. Please, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't recall anything specifically about it being taped off beforehand. That part I didn't hear.
No, it wasn't taped off, but her tip said that it was evacuated, so they had buses coming in to take people and stuff like that. But again, it was just a tip. It wasn't actual facts or anything like that. So
okay, that's good to know. Because my first exposure to it was I was presented with the information at the same time. It was taped off in advance, and the emergency departments were emptied. And someone who reached out to me to be on their space took my video, and they posted a screenshot of a school bus going by in the distance and saying, "This is proof of them shuttling patients out."
Oh, I seen that somewhere.
This is insane. That's what I heard the impression was. This is crazy. There's no way that happened. So I was tainted in the beginning with the opinion that these theories are psychotic.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate that you think that way, because what Candace is coming up with, she never said that it was actual facts or anything like that. She said that it was a tip that she got, and if anyone has any information, to reach out to her. She doesn't just go on willy-nilly and say, all right, well, this is facts. The hospital was cleared out before Charlie got there. And I'm pretty sure the tip that she got said that they cleared the hospital out 2 hours before. So, yeah.
So not the entire hospital, but just the ER, which and in and of itself, very, very strange. Never heard of such a thing, but not the entire hospital, especially the empty rooms. That's just wild.
I just want to add that it is an active investigation, so some leads are going to fall through. You know, not everything is going to be for fact.
100%.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she specifically asked if anyone had knowledge of the shuttle buses or if they were one of the patients in the ER that had been shuttled. She was asking, you know, if anyone had any additional information that could corroborate this tip. She was asking for people to reach out to her with that information. I didn't get the impression when she shared it that she was overly convinced that that was the case. At least that was what my takeaway was. But she was
asking for evidence. She was asking if anybody else had evidence of
yes,
this.
Yes. And I think she's smart enough to know that if a hospital is going to shuttle patients, like there are significant legal ramifications for that. So that's a huge thing to accuse a hospital of doing. And I could just sense, at least for me in her voice, as she was asking for additional information, that whole idea just sounded bonkers, you know, if that were true.
Yeah,
you know, like
absolutely. That's why she was asking for if people had actually witnessed that or had been a patient to contact her, because she wasn't putting it out there that it was actual facts that they cleared the hospital. That's not how it came across.
She said what made her question it was that the other hospital actually got Charlie's paperwork.
Yes. And that ties into the hospitals having the same EMR system. Because remember, everyone was initially saying how that wouldn't work. You couldn't just, laterally transfer patients. But then she even commented that they had recently converted EMR systems to where they were both on the same system. So it'd be much easier to transfer information when you're in the same EMR system. But it would be interesting. Barron pulled up when he did all his Google, I guess it was Google, maps, when we were searching for all the various vehicles and where people were at certain times on that day. Has anybody pulled up the hospital parking lot and the whole hospital on that day, the satellite imagery? Because I want to say that the videos that he was looking at were like around 10 something. Am I remembering that correctly?
I wish I knew the answer to that off the top of my head. I do want to say, I feel like, on one of his episodes, we might have looked at the hospital parking lot, but I struggle with that. I'm sorry.
I'm sure Daisy's pulled that up.
Yeah, so I'm just curious now that we have this information about this possibility, right, of patients being transported, and I would just be interested to see what was the volume of vehicles in the parking lot at that time. Because if they cleared out the ER, right, you would think that there wouldn't be as many vehicles there as opposed to what we're kind of seeing in these pictures and videos. It would just be interesting for comparison if we have any imagery of that. Because that would be the 2-hour mark before.
I did submit a grammar request for just regular streets around town, not like just traffic, not anything to do with the Charlie Kirk stuff, but on that day.
Yeah.
Just to see, I put in there, I wanted to see if traffic patterns changed during a state of emergency, if they're, how they handled it, shortages of, officers, blah, blah, blah. They denied it.
That's crazy.
Yes. So maybe there was some weird traffic stuff they didn't want.
We should be able to get the EMS records of if there had been a diversion, because trust me, if they were shuttling patients out of the ER, then there has to be a record in the EMS system there of a diversion. And you have to have their very specific reasons that you can go on diversion.
Right. And if the other hospital had all of their patients, they might have also been closed.
Correct. They can't hide that. That'll get them in trouble federally.
You're cutting out. Lit Mormon, you're cutting out a bit. Maybe better area you can talk in. Losing him. Still can't hear him. Yeah, he was kind of rubber banding a little bit earlier, right? Still can't hear you. He might have to leave and come back in again. Yeah, we can't hear you. There. Try again. No, I can't hear him. Yeah, he's gonna probably jump back in again. I don't know. I don't know who are these bots in here. What's going on in here?
Well, this is tend to get a little strange when things get a little interesting. Not about.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So I'm so sorry about that. My internet should be fine, but
No worries.
my question, Ali, you posted. I noticed that you posted some video and some pictures. The video that you posted, it was like a news. It looks like a news story that's filming the front of the hospital.
Yes. Is that not real?
It looks real to me, but I never saw that amount of people out front of the like right by the entrance there. It seemed like completely barren to me.
That's what I was asking earlier. That's why I said that video looks like there's a hot mess going on out there. And the video that you showed was definitely not that.
Yeah, well, you went in and then did they escort you upstairs right away, or did you stay in the lobby for a bit?
I was to be fair, I was upstairs. I was upstairs right away, and my grandma was going to surgery, so I was with her for quite a while.
Wouldn't you have gotten there after all of this? If we're seeing video of like the trunk open and all of that business, that would have been before he got there.
No, that's why I was asking what time
that was.
That's what I'm telling you. I remember something being open on that vehicle when I walked up, and the police tape was going up. In that video that you're showing, the police tape is already up. It's up there. So I walked up before that video was taken, and the trunk is still open in the video.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can clearly see it.
It confirms that my memory, at least,
there you go.
Correct that video. That
but the photo looks like it's closed.
Did you look at the video?
The chaos was happening like right as they arrived or something.
You are so right. The photo the video I took looks like it's closed in the video.
Yeah, and the still shot that they screenshot shows it closed.
Yeah. Maybe they went. Maybe they opened it after. Who knows what happened?
Well, can I ask? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask. Have you, just in looking recently, have you seen anything that any like images or footage or anything that just seems like it could be like it's wrong? I know, like you were saying about the school bus, that doesn't sound like what you actually saw. I'm sorry that was mischaracterized by whomever had done that. But was there any footage or pictures that you've seen and you think to yourself, gosh, that just doesn't look right? It doesn't look like what I actually saw or how the hospital looks or anything like that?
This is actually the first thing that I've seen that has made me question. This one right here, the video that Ali posted, is the first thing that I've seen that I've been like that.
And that video looks like it's after you got there, just a little bit earlier, before the news crew got there. You said you didn't see any news crew, right?
Yeah, I was looking for press too, because press was one of the reasons why I thought we were locked down. I thought we were locked down because, and for initially they said security reasons, but I thought they're just trying to keep the press out of here. So they're not letting anybody go out and talk to them, And so I was looking for them out the window. I only saw like one press person, as I've stated before. I didn't see anybody. And it looks like in the video, there's like people standing almost near the police tape trying to look in.
I do remember there were pictures from like on some of the websites that showed like the police cars in front of the other hospital. And it like some of the news agencies were speculating that that's where Charlie had been taken initially. So maybe the press got to Timpanogos late.
That's actually a really good theory too, because again, like I said, I had to convince people. It seemed like I had to convince people that he was actually at Timpanogos at first, because even my family was like, "There's no way he's there." So and some random people on Twitter thought, "He's not. You're lying. He's not there." So that makes sense.
The same
press
thing.
didn't catch up.
I remember the same thing, that everyone on the news channels were confused because the press was at the other hospital, and they assumed because it was the bigger hospital that that's where he went. And I remember there being a whole lot of talk about that, about the difference between the two hospitals, and that would explain them showing up after the fact. What's interesting, though, is how long would you say, if you had to take a guess, that you went upstairs and you were with your grandmother before her procedure? If you had to take a guess about, because you said about 30 minutes later you came back down, and that's when you realized you couldn't get your charger. And so they weren't there then, right?
I think I can do better than guess. I think I can tell you for sure, because when I was told that I couldn't go out, I immediately texted my family and I told them the hospital won't let me leave. So I can search in my family chat.
Because you said it was 30 minutes or so later that you went to go get your phone charger.
In my mind, yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't see anybody then, right?
No, I didn't. Yeah. Let me check my my family chat right now. And I'm searching up September 10th. And let me see the time when I told them that we couldn't go. Okay, so at 6:24, they just let us go. Still locked down, 4:28. She finished her surgery at 3:45. Hold on, let me see. We are locked down. Mom and I can't leave. Please just stop me. 1:34. So we were locked in.
Yeah, remember this is his time, not any other time. Like just remember that.
Yeah,
right. It's about 30 minutes from when you said you had gotten there at 1:07.
Yeah. Here, let me I can read my text to you. I said, my sister said, "Are you able to get in to see grandma?" I said, "Timpanogos Hospital just told me they're locked down for security. I can leave, but I can't come back in." And then I texted less than a minute later, "Wait, I'm locked in." And my brother said, "That's kind of a weird protocol, being that he's already dead." And I said, "They're saying his team." Okay, here's what I said.
Wait, your brother said that? At what time?
1:30.
That wasn't announced that he was dead yet.
No, but I had mentioned that they were calling a chaplain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're saying his team's here and they're freaking out. They're calling for a chaplain, canceling all hospital admissions, and we are locked down. Mom and I can't leave. Police just stopped me. And that was at 1:34. So it's less than a half hour being there when they locked it down. And I didn't see anyone out in front of that hospital at that time.
That's why I was curious, Allie. I can't see it when I just didn't know if maybe you had better visual on your end of what time that news footage was was rolling.
That's what I'm looking at, trying to find out right now. So I'm just give me one moment. And
I actually, I think, Lit, the post that you might be referring to, I'm trying to remember who it was that made it about, and they asked, "Do you notice anything unusual in this video or in this picture?" I actually said, "Is that a big bus I see in the background?" Because I remember Candace saying that there were shuttles running, supposedly, but that tipped. And so I actually said, "Is that an actual bus in the background?" Thinking, "Oh my gosh, we captured the shuttle right here."
That's funny.
But of course, the image of it was, you couldn't get any distinguishing features from it other than that it looked like a bus of some kind. And I thought to myself, well, at least if they're shuttling patients, please tell me they put them in a medically appropriate vehicle, which clearly a bus would not fit that category.
A school bus, yeah. I tried to get as much footage as I can. I'm not sure if you guys didn't glean anything from anything that I sent, but yeah, I don't see, I just don't see in any of my images or videos press pretty much anywhere. So it was just surprising to me that Ali posted that video and there were a bunch of people standing around outside near the police tape. And it just, right now, that didn't, from what I could tell, I never saw any of that happen. So.
And I think there was some debate, at least Barron brought it up, about when Charlie actually left the facility to go for the autopsy. And I want to say around 7:30 is what I'm recalling is the time. But where there seems to be some discrepancy is no one has been able to trace from there to the next facility. Apparently, he commented that there were news people camped out where the autopsy was being performed, and no one ever saw anyone leave.
Did we lose him again, or is he here?
No, I'm still here. I just don't. I'm sorry.
It was just a drop the mic moment.
I was just trying to look up the time on this article, on this video.
It's just that her comment was kind of out of my purview about leave things and going, so I don't know about that.
Well, I was tying it to like the news coverage, you know, seeing the news people that were there and him making the reference that news people were trying to track this at every stage. And it seems like that seems to be a gap, you know, of information.
Allie, are you trying to find a video that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm still trying to look for that. Does anybody else have any questions for Lit Mormon? Because I'm about to wrap it up soon as well, because it's getting late for me.
Yeah, it is very late, isn't it? Thank you so much for hosting this space, Allie. And Lit Mormon, thank you so much for answering all of our questions. It's been really, really helpful. And we can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you. You guys have a new fan, so I'll probably be around in the future, but mostly as a listener. So.
What was that?
Thank you. I don't know. That's cool.
I don't know how I did that. I'm so sorry.
Oh, is that you? I'm like, whoa.
That was me. I don't know. That was crazy. That's what the soundboard is, apparently.
Oh. Oh, wow. What is that? Is that? Oh. That's good.
Oh boy, things are going to get really fun now.
Okay.
I thought somebody was coming in there doing something weird. Okay. Well, I think that's like, I don't have any other questions. You're legit. Your memory is, and I don't, like a lot of people were saying, oh, I don't know if he's telling the truth or whatever. That's why I wanted to give you the opportunity to speak tonight. And yeah, I think you showed all your pictures, you showed your video, you told everybody what you could. And if anybody doesn't have any other questions, I really, really appreciate you. And thank you for coming and speaking tonight and giving your 3 hours here. You didn't have to. So thank you so much.
No problem. That was fun. Thanks, guys.
And
I love
listen,
you guys. That was fun.
Thank your grandmother, because she obviously cared about Charlie and she was deeply moved when this happened. And so let her know that there's an army of us out here searching for the truth for what happened to him.
I will. She's 96 now.
Wow.
She's just, love her. She's the matriarch of our family. And, you know, she's just the best. So she's the one who, she's the reason why we were all raised to be the kind of people who loved and listened to Charlie Kirk. So yeah, she's a great woman. Anyway, thanks guys so much.
You are.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
Okay,
yeah,
have a great night.
Have a great night. And thank you for everybody else who came and asked questions. We are
Thanks,
out.
Allie.
Yes, you're welcome. Bye. No, yeah, my stream is still going. I'm going to talk to my chat now. I think I'm done. Hopefully it recorded. If it didn't, I'm going to be so sad. Because I had problems, guys. Holy mollies.
We even survived technical issues, a bot attack. It was fun times.
Wait, am I still live? Hold on. I don't know. Did it save? It's there. Play recording. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, it's there still. Guys, can you guys hear me? So sorry. We had like all of a sudden I just couldn't hear myself. I couldn't hear the space. And I'm like, well, what the heck am I going to do? Because if I swipe out, the space ends, right? So luckily we used our brains and I used Chris's phone.
And just logged in and made me a co-host in the space. You can back out of an X space and then log back in. And I've heard you got 90 seconds. And then you can get your X space back up and running and nothing will happen. Like you won't lose it or anything. But it's kind of risky. And this was a lot of good information. And Allie didn't want to risk that. So we were just trying to figure out how to do it. Thank you, everybody who tuned in and listened. And thank you to all the mods.
Yes. And thank you for the 2 jewels, Silver Star. If you're still here, Nathaniel Penar. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just, I just wanted to stream it on here too, just because there's some people that are not on X. Thank you so much, Love, for sending me. She's the one who sent me these videos. So I'm just trying to like do the X space and stream this live. So yeah, I'm not on camera right now. I'm just trying to like juggle here.
And big thanks to the mods, because we did get a crazy bot attack, and then there was a couple other people who were weird after. And like I was literally just checking XDMs to see if somebody sent a picture, and then I come back and it's like a bot attack. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, like Love was just sending me all this stuff. I really owe it to her. She's just been sending me these clips, and a lot of it came from different pages like Elizabeth Lane, Eddie Spaghetti. So shout out to those people.
And I want to give Love and Compassion, Jeannie and Scotty, all shout outs as well. They were rocking and rolling as mods for most of this. So was Get Crunk and
You
Listen.
don't suck. What are you talking about? You rock.
He was flirting with a girl and the bot got in past security.
Thanks, Tornado Alley. I mean, this guy, go follow him. If you don't, go follow him. He didn't have to. You know what? It was very hard to get an interview with him or just get him to talk. So
yeah,
it was really hard. Really, 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 really hard. So he posted all this stuff and I've been trying. I've been like really, really nice to him. And I'm like, I'm just going to, the only thing I'm going to do is give you the mic and let, you know, and it will be fair. And if somebody says something awful or rude, you're out.
Yep.
You're out.
And apparently all his photos and videos had metadata checked like way back when, like months ago.
Yeah, Baron did this long time ago.
Yeah. And then it just kind of disappeared. So all the stuff is legit, and he answered every question for 3 hours, and people tried to poke holes in it and everything was fine. The timeline was there.
Yeah.
He even read out a conversation that he had with his family on the day. Like, it seems pretty legit to me.
Thank you so much, Edge. Thanks, guys. Cool perspective. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Edge?
See you on so many different YouTube channels. Thank you so much.
Edge is a great supporter of a lot of channels. Yeah. Edge is everywhere.
Yeah. The Edge 18V. Thank you so much. It was really hard to get him. There's so many people that I want to get an interview with, and they just don't want to talk. Like that USA guy, David. He messaged me, and I'm like, "Do you want to talk?" No, not right now.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, there's a couple that you
I understand, and there's a whole bunch of them that messaged me, and just they'll ask me like the randomest things. Can I have that picture that you just posted? Where'd you get it? I think it was Caleb. What chat? Chat is here. Caleb, somebody.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
I remember
he works
that.
He does stuff for the Turning Point USA. And he asked me for a picture. So I gave it to him. I said, "Hey, if you ever want to do an interview or talk on a space," he said, not right now. I'm not really up to talking to anybody." So that was that.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to get these interviews. So I really appreciate you guys coming in here and listening and chatting away in the chat. You guys are
The chat
awesome.
was great. They came up with a lot of questions. I think you got to almost every question the chat asked. I think you got to them all. So great job, Allie, on doing that. Because like we're texting back and forth while I'm in this chat and you're there interviewing, and it was all crazy. And we made it happen. So thank you very much for coming, guys.
Look at Scotty getting his plugging in his email to the girls. I'm just joking. Oh gosh. So I think I'm done. Yeah, this was just I think I'm going live Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I didn't know if I was going to get this interview today, and yeah, I did, and I thought it went well. I thought he was very nice. Before I leave, what? Tell me.
Thought we got a lot of information too. It's going to be something that I'm going to have to listen back to again, just to get everything in again.
Thank you, Scotty. I don't have my I'm not in my not studio. I don't have a studio. I'm not down in the basement to get my power. So I'll just go power because I don't have it here with me. Every time Scotty comes on, I play a button on my, what do you call it?
Oh, it's just our sound card.
My sound card. Yeah. So I don't have it right now. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I think I hope we solve this shit. I really do. It's getting to the point where it's racking my brain. It's every day I wake up with it and I go to bed with it. So it's weird. I can't get it out of my mind. So, and Candace Owens live stream was pretty good. Did you guys see that? Holy! If you didn't, I can show you a little clip of her right now before I go. So she showed two videos, right, babe?
I think so.
She showed two videos of da. Are you purring? My little kitty cat. Okay. So she showed a video. Who watched Candace tonight? Or else I won't show it if you guys have already seen it. I don't know if you've seen it already. Flamingos flock together. Yes, they do. They do. They really, really do. They do. Thank you. They do. And they stay with the same partner too. Did you know that? Did you guys know that? They don't fool around. Right, babe?
No Netflix and chill.
Oh my gosh, I'm laughing. No, they don't fool around. Oh, I've got to put this here because Wisha made this. You're gonna laugh. Hold on, little girl.
My claim of positive evidence is that Candace is a retard. Ow! Whoa! Dude, are you okay?
Oopsies, sorry about that.
Oh yeah, well I heard it was supposed to be Candace. You okay? Oh, Candace dodged a bullet!
Look, I can explain it to you. I can't understand it for you.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just marking time.
Shall we continue?
Oof! Ah!
You guys like that? I'm just marking time.
Just marking time.
I don't know where I am, who I am, where I came from.
Where I'm going.
I don't know what hotel I stayed at.
I don't remember what I ate for breakfast, lunch, or dinner for 2 days.
And if you watch the show today, where these three guys were on the Charlie Kirk show, which Charlie Kirk would probably be pissed off at, Andrew Colvett referenced a tennis court match or something like that. So that's why I said, "Wisha, we gotta do a meme of these three dudes playing tennis." Oh man, this is great. I gotta watch it again. It's great.
My claim of positive evidence is that Candace is a retard. Ow! Whoa! Dude, are you okay?
Oopsies, sorry about that.
Oh yeah, well I heard it was supposed to be Candace. You okay? Candace dodged a bullet!
Look, I can explain it to you. I can't understand it for you.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just marking time.
Shall we continue?
Oof! Ah!
That is fabulous. Now let's watch this one, because this is what happened today. You probably already seen it.
Nice hand grenade. All right, what do we got here? We'll point there. Keep your eye there. Gets up and he shows something on his laptop to Philip Goldsberry. He sits there and he just gets busy on his laptop. Looks like he's putting in looks like he maybe putting something else in there. Maybe a second SD card. Not exactly sure.
Look at that. And then look at the guy in the front. That's the guy that drove Charlie into UVU. That's him. So he was there after. Look at him. He is in that checkered shirt. He has the beard. God, the beard looks fake, you know? Look at that beard. Looks like it's a sticker-on beard. Guys, tell me if it's true. His beard doesn't look real. His beard doesn't look real. So yeah, I'm not looking at Terrell Farnsworth right now. Terrell Farnsworth put the SD card in his pocket and then he sat down and he was doing something on his laptop, and Philip Goldsberry was looking over at what he was doing. He showed him the laptop. Here, look at this. Look at this. Isn't this great? Let's crop it. Let's crop this video so no one can see. Okay, you do that. While you do that, I'm gonna go make a phone call. Okay, I'm gonna sit down. Okay, tap, 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 tap. I gotta put my SD card in there. Scratchy. I'm gonna put it in there. Oh, there's the guy that drove Charlie in. Hi. There's Chrissy with the mints. And nobody looks, worried. Someone just died. It looks chill. Taking out a laptop. We're cropping videos, allegedly. Because I don't know what he was doing with the laptop. Why you had to pull a laptop for? Just chilling there. So bizarre.
A second SD card. Not exactly sure. I'm just letting you guys watch this so that you can see. We were told by Andrew Colvett that he was worried about people stealing hats. I'm not getting that sense. Doesn't seem to be a priority. Keep your eyes there so you can see he's just on his laptop. Still on that laptop. Moving those hands. Tip-tapping away. Checking back. Make sure nobody is looking. That is
tip-tap of the rotisserie. Tip-tap.
Important. Man, if I thought there was a sniper running around, I'd probably maybe go into a car to do this. Somewhere safer to do this. I'm always amazed that it seems like they knew they were okay. Again, this is within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Of Charlie going down.
You guys see that? That's disgusting. Well, this guy was there. If you didn't see him, he was right there we've been looking for him because he is the one that drove Charlie into UVU. Oh my God, what happened here? There. It's just a 3 split screen shot of him backing in the SUV, getting out. So we know that was him. We know it. And yeah, we can say it's Christopher, but we can't say it's Christopher because we don't know Tornado Alley. We really don't know. That's what his name is. That's just what was shown on the dash. So I don't want to like say, yep, it was Christopher. We think it is. We don't know. No. Yeah, that was Mikey too. Yeah. I can show that again. So now you got a clear picture of this guy. Just keep him in your memory for a minute.
Nice hand grenade.
Oh, stop. What happened here? Where'd it go? One momento while I put this here.
We'll point there. Keep your eye there.
So there he is there. You see him? He's in the right there. That's him. It's not the clearest. Okay, guys. Where did she get this video from? Is it from the tunnel? Like, is it moving around? Is this from the tunnel? Babe, is this video from the tunnel or is this camera moving? Let's see. I'm just going to play it with no audio because getting a headache. Hold on. Okay, no, the camera's moving, so it can't be from like... Who's taking this video? That's weird. It looks like they're high up. I'm so weirded out. Wait, what? Where is this video taken from? Babe. I'm looking. Where is this video taken from? There's no way, because if this is a tunnel, who's taking this? Who is, unless they put their hand high up and just filming it on a selfie stick or something. This is bizarre. Who the heck's that guy? Who's this guy right here? Who's this? Who the heck is that? Oh, man. I hate when she drops a video and then she goes on vacation. This is not fun for me. Here you go, guys. Here's some new footage. And there's Mikey McCoy. Cool as a cucumber. He looks fine. Nobody looks like they're in, devastated mode. Nobody's on the ground crying. Everybody's cool. It's like, this is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Who is this guy? Does anybody know? Am I talking to myself? Mikey all covered in red liquid. I know. Who is this guy? Does he have a ponytail? No, he doesn't. Okay, I've never seen this guy before. Or maybe I have. Who is this? He has an earbud in his ear. Have we seen this man before? God, I've seen so much footage. Is this an officer? No, I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to review. Oh, here. Let's look at the laptop. Let's crop it. Okay, so that's what it is. That was that video. And then there's the Tyler Robinson one she showed today too. I'll add that.
There you go. And we will show you this in slow motion so that there is no confusion that we did not edit anything. Here it is in slow-mo.
I like her. Oh my gosh, her episode was great. Did you guys see the crash out with the... I guess you guys all saw that. The 3 on the Charlie Kirk show with Andrew Wilson. My gosh. Oh my heavens. You guys think that's a cop? Oh, wait. You might be right. Hold on. I just saw him right here. Hold on. I just saw him. Where'd he go? Is he right here? He's right here. Oh, no. Is that the camera guy? I think that's Andrew Faraci. Don't tell me. Hold on. I think it is. Oh, man. I think it is. Or maybe I'm wrong. No. That's somebody else. You see him in the left-hand corner? I have never seen him before. Oh, yeah. Maybe he is the cop. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh my goodness. You want me to play the crash out? Okay, I'll play the crash out. I have to end it. I have to like close this. Hold on, little girl. Tell me. Yeah, he's the cop. Yeah, you're right. Everybody, you're right. You're right. You're right. It's just so blurry. I can't see it. It's annoying me. So don't judge me. If I can't see it, then I don't know. I have to double check and triple check and quadruple check. So I'll add that. Just give me a second. I have to. Should I play my video or? So sorry. I just hiccuped. Should I play mine? Wait, where is it? Okay. I'll play mine and I'll see if I can find any more. Oh, it's not even on the screen. Oh, man, I hate when I do that. I thought I was on the screen. Is it? Oh, my goodness. I have to pull it off. You guys are hearing me be frustrated with myself right now. Where is this video? Babe, I need your help. I can't see what I'm doing. Is this a video that's on here right now?
What's going on?
I don't want that one.
Yeah, pull some of that other stuff off. You get lots of it there. Look at all that stuff.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Bye.
Okay, can you guys see that?
Why, hello, smoke boy.
Oh, he's something. He's some kind of boy. He's something else.
Oh, yeah, they see smoke boy.
Can I open this wider?
When I explained that to her and then asked her to give me her induction for
Hold
how
on,
to
I gotta
get to
rewind
the
it.
person at all. I'm just going to be really blunt with you guys. I thought that she was actually quite stupid. I was shocked. I was actually quite stunned. I didn't think that she was a very smart person at all. I had good reason to believe that going in, but I didn't think that she was a particularly good interlocutor. She never made any points at all. She would just kind of ramble. It was just kind of incoherent babble and ramble. And anytime I would get to the point or make her address an actual point, she would go back to rambling incoherently. She didn't understand what inductive reasoning was. I even spelled it out in a very, very simplistic way. Inductive reasoning would be like if, then, and, or. So if I'm 20 minutes away from my job, and I'm supposed to be there in 5 minutes, then I can assume I'm going to be late, right? That would be an inductively reasoned out position. When I explained that to her and then asked her to give me her induction for how we get to Israel, TPUSA, France, and all these other people who are involved in the conspiracy to murder Kirk, she actually didn't even understand what I was asking her.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, it was that was the toughest part of the debate, was that she actually didn't even understand half of what I was saying.
Explain that, actually, because you do a ton of these debates, and is it sort of like one of those things? I have a good friend who's a professional tennis player. He said it's really hard to play against bad tennis players because you can't actually serve and volley like you've been training for years to do. You actually it gets easier if the quality of the opponent
you're
is
anticipating
better. Yes.
where a pro would hit it back,
Yeah.
and they just hit it some other spot.
Yeah, exactly. Is it kind of like that where the person across from you is not even keeping up with the basic blocking and tackling of a debate?
Do you see why we did the meme about the tennis player, babe? He's talking about the tennis player. I gotta rewind it. Oh my god.
You can't actually serve and volley like you've been training for. Is it sort of like one of those things? I have a good friend who's a professional tennis player. He said it's really hard to play against bad tennis players because you can't actually serve in volley like you've been training for years to do. You actually it gets easier if the quality of the opponent
You're
is
anticipating
better. Yes.
where a pro would hit it back,
Yeah.
and they just hit it some other spot.
Yeah, exactly. Is it kind of like that where the person across from you is not even keeping up with the basic blocking and tackling of a debate? It's almost more challenging for you in that way?
Well, here, I'll demonstrate it for you. So you just asked me a pointed question. What your pointed question is, hey, Andrew, if somebody doesn't know what they're doing on the other side of this thing, does it actually make it more difficult to do this thing, right? Now, I could just say, well, yes, of course, and then we would move on with the conversation. But if I was going to be Candace Owens, I would say, well, what we're talking about here is how I feel, and about how I feel about the various things that I'm talking about when it comes to debate. And you say that I'm not a very skilled interlocutor, but we have evidence of me being a skilled interlocutor. You can look back at all the times that I've done interlocuting with other people, and I think that we can all see what's going on here.
Yeah.
So you see, like, you see how that's completely unhelpful.
Oh, just stop it. These people are crazy. What'd you guys think of that one? I mean, you got to watch the Candace Owens show. She plays the best clips. She didn't play this one, though. She played how, didn't they call it? They said that she was like referencing Hitler or something too. Yeah. And then something, and then Andrew Wilson actually defended her, which was odd. Yeah, so go watch the Candace Owens show. She plays the Charlie Kirk show. You got to watch the whole entire thing. But if you don't want to give them clicks, just go to Candace Owens' page and go look at hers. Hers is pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed my show today.
Hi. I'm somewhere. I hate Utah. Smells too pure. I don't remember what I'm meant to be doing. I've never been to Utah. I'm somewhere with someone, but I don't remember. Where am I? I'm somewhere. I don't remember what I'm meant to be doing. I've never been to Utah. I'm somewhere with someone, but I don't remember. Oh, wait, where's Tyler? Shit, I forgot to go to Chick-fil-A. Oh, man, where am I? Where am I? I've never been to Utah before. We're in Utah. It's fine. Where the hell is Tyler? We were meant to meet up. Is that a gun in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? Fuck, I hate Mormons. Where the fuck am I? If I don't get this rifle stashed and get back to Salt Lake City, I'm fucked. Why am I here? Where the fuck am I? I need to find Chick-fil-A.
Oh my goodness. What do you think of that one? I have some other ones. I have some other funny ones before I end my show tonight, because you guys know I love laughing. Oh my gosh. Have you seen this one? I don't know if they have.
Evil eats itself.
What the fuck is happening? Guys, this is it. We are biblical here.
Her words, not ours.
I got lots of funny ones. Oh man. Is this the one? Babe, what funny one I have? Which one do you like? What's your favorite? Oh, I got this one.
There were some good ones with pickles today.
Oh, I don't know if I have the pickle one here. I have this one.
Oh, this is a classic.
That's always good.
From Muppet Masher. How much slop can a Fed slopper slop slop? How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop? Tell me, Blake, can a snake beat a rake? Can we save our state from the Israel hate? It hurts my feelings. How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop or slop? How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop? How much slop can a slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop?
Oh, it never gets old for me. It just never gets old, guys. Oh, wait, I don't have that one. Oh, man, it just never gets old. That one's my kind of my favorite. But I also have that other one, babe, with all of them all in a row. Where did I delete it? I hope I didn't. Hold, please. I'm trying to find the other funny video. If I can find it. I think I deleted it. Oh, no, I didn't. Of course I didn't. I need to laugh. I have to laugh. This is my job, is to laugh.
Shit and you just repeat it. I'll say crazy stuff and you make them eat it. I'll say a bunch of crap and we're going to feed it to the world. Yeah, I'll say shit and you just repeat it. I'll make up lies and you make them eat it. I'll say crazy shit and you just repeat it. Then we'll wait for an hour and then we'll delete it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I can't. It's great. It's great. It's great stuff.
That deserves an encore.
Okay.
I'll say shit and you just repeat it. I'll say crazy stuff and you make them eat it. I'll say a bunch of crap and we're going to feed it to the world. Yeah, I'll say shit and you just repeat it. I'll make up lies and you make them eat it. I'll say crazy shit and you just repeat it. Then we'll wait for an hour and then we'll delete it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I can't. This is great. It's great stuff. And then we have one more. I'll play all my funny ones that I have. Oh, I always love this one. This is a funny one. Well, it's not funny, but what should I play, babe? Should I get this one? You remember the court one? How funny that court one was with the. Did I delete that one with the guy? Sorry, guys. I'm just rambling. Remember, he was in the. Oh no. Oh yeah, this one.
Is it?
Oh, I deleted the other guy? Oh, darn it. Well, I got Judge Graff. I'll play him. Because court's coming up, so we might as well play the court one.
Let me do my lawyer math. So if the little hand points there, it's 12, and the big hand points there, it's 50, no 46, no wait, 33. So that's 3:33 sec. So we'll come back at 3 p.m. Wait, plus 33% commission for me, so 3:30 p.m.
Sounds about right.
Oh my goodness. Did I play that one again?
Let me do my lawyer math. So if the little hand points there, it's 12, and the big hand points there, it's 50, no 46, no wait, 33. So that's 3:33 sec. So we'll come back at 3 p.m. Wait, plus 33% commission for me, so 3:30 p.m.
These are all memes. It's not Judge Graff really saying that. These are all funny things. And then there's this one, because I love this one too. This one's just a funny one. It's the yep one. I always like that one. That's a funny one.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
It is a classic. I hope everybody's enjoying a little laughter before I end tonight. I don't know why I'm talking in an accent.
Yeah.
So this is two friends who started a podcast.
Yep. Oh. Yeah. Yep. Oh. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. Uh-huh.
Oh man. And it's so true when you watch yourself or you watch somebody else, you're like, yeah, yep,
yeah.
Oh man,
yep.
It's so true. It's yes. But I do it too. Oh my goodness. Oh, do I have any other ones? I think I have one more. Let me see if I can find one more. Guys, I love this stuff. This stuff is like my favorite. I don't know what to tell you. I like to. Oh my goodness, what is this?
Yeah, play that one. That's a good one.
Oh, it's a very short, but I'm gonna. Oh my God! Hold on.
So you know how there's been a lot of stuff, guys, about compression in videos. Well, we found another one. Lots of compression in this video.
Oh, I have to. Oh yeah, here it is. How come I can't add it? It won't let me. Hold, please. I have to delete some stuff from the stage. Obviously, I have too much. This is why StreamYard makes me mad. Okay, is this the one?
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Beep beep.
Oh no! Why is it?
I wonder if Candace will notice me. Beep beep.
Okay, I'm sorry. 1 second.
So there's a compression going on with the car. That's why it's looking it's smaller. There's some compression. There's some compression on the car. There's a bald guy in it.
I wonder if Candace will notice me.
Oh my goodness. Did you see this, guys?
Look at the smile on his face. It's
Oh,
hilarious.
I mean, this is it. This is it. This is why we have to laugh, because this is what they're doing. This is a one big fat joke. This is a big joke that they're doing. And I gotta put more of my funny things. They're all on my phone, but I think that's all the funny ones I have, except for
Unless you want to go to your ex.
No, I'll do it another day. I think I'm done for tonight, but I'll play this one because this one's funny. Well, it's what she does. It's what she does best.
It's accurate.
It's accurate.
Balls deep.
Balls?
Yep.
Yep,
Balls
we're going
deep.
in. We're going in.
Wow. Hello.
Balls deep.
Replay.
Balls deep.
Balls?
Yep.
Yep,
Balls
we're going
deep.
in. We're going in.
Wow. Hello.
I didn't even know what that meant when I was. How old is she here? I swear to God, I didn't know what that meant, like in my 20s. I swear to God, I didn't. You guys are laughing at me, probably. Probably, yeah. I didn't know what that meant. But I know what, of course, I know what it means now. But I don't know how old she is there.
Oh, she's old enough to know that.
Oh, guys, I wasn't allowed to even date until I was like 19, 20 or something. Yeah. Strict life I had.
Old-fashioned country girl.
Oh, no, I wasn't allowed. No boys. Very strict. So that is that. I think we're done. I think we're done for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow. I know a lot of you guys are trying to get a hold of me, so I will check my DMs. And thank you so much for joining today. As always, go follow Lit Mormon. Did I make a good live space cover? I didn't know how to make it. I don't know why Korea's at the bottom of my thing.
Who knows?
Like I think it took my last thumbnail and it made it that. Oh, I gotta fix that. We don't want Korea in there.
Or Greenland. Or Japan.
Mystery guest from Korea. Oh my goodness. What in the world happened to my thumbnail, everybody? I really apologize. That at the bottom wasn't supposed to be there. And yeah. And I don't know why on the cell phone I'm a guy up there. Like, what is this?
That's true.
I gotta redo this thumbnail. But hey,
You look like your last name should be Rodriguez or something.
It was a quick thumbnail I did. I don't even know who these people are on the cover. It was just like a random. I hope you guys enjoyed the space tonight. Streaming from X. This is my second time doing it, so I hope the audio is okay. I'm really apologize if you couldn't hear it. Did you hear it okay, babe, when you were listening?
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay, great.
There's some times where when people were cutting out on phones, it was a little hard to hear, but it usually fixed itself pretty quickly.
I could explain it, but I couldn't make you understand it. Yes. Except in person.
Except in person.
Thank you so much, Jeannie. You are amazing. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, mods did a great job tonight. Thanks again, guys.
I'm gonna have a mod day.
Yes, Allie and I are going to make a mod day.
I have so many mods in here.
We're not sure what we're going to actually do. We've been throwing some ideas around, and we are going to make a mod day.
Yes, we will. So thank you guys for coming. I am checking out, and I will see you Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I might do something tomorrow with Donald Jeffries or something.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I might, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, Muppet's going to be on there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I might be live with Muppet and Donald tomorrow. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and have a fabulous weekend. And peace out. Love you. Say Jesus' name. And I love my Flamingo Mafias.
Night, guys.